your life.
This is row one, seat one.
Well, this is nice. When did we start doing this? Nobody told me about this. I thought everything sucked now. Do you have a card?
You get COVID? It's over. COVID said, "Oh, I see you having a good season. It'd be a shame if I knocked over the microphone for those listening and not watching the video.
If he dies, he dies.
He dies. He dies.
Oh, there is no one on that Broncos team that I love more right now than Von Miller. That man is an absolute goddamn legend. He could come into my house and fuck my wife, and I would say, thank you very much, sir.
Man to man, I don't know.
The mayor of New Orleans basically came out twirling the umbrella like, fuck Drew Brees and his wife.
Who'd you rather have sex with?
We would be.
I'm an island boy.
I'm a just island boy.
Oh, welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for joining us.
The way you did. You started off. Ladies and gentlemen.
Can I get a hiya? Can we do that? We can do that, right? That's fine. That's still funny. That's still a funny thing, right?
I think
That is still really funny.
I still think it's funny.
I do.
Anyway, welcome.
can't go
Speaking of funny, welcome to Row 1, Seat 1, Joey Fats Radio. I am your host, Joey Fats. With me, as always, Plizzy and Mr. Betancourt. Thank you for joining me. Thank you all for joining us this evening. Boy, do we have a lot to talk about. Just when you thought the divisional round of the playoffs was going to that was it. That was the coup de grace. That was the peak of the peak. Wasn't going to get any better than that. There was nothing else that we were going to be able to talk about. How could we possibly top that weekend? And championship weekend rolls around and says, hold my beer, bitch. Hold up. I got something for your ass. He said, let me show your ass something.
Yeah, I thought it was a good weekend.
Oh, yeah. No.
Started really weird.
It started pretty awkward and then ended kind of how we all thought it was going to end with the Tom Brady news, which was an incredibly interesting roller coaster wave of emotions.
Starting from Saturday?
From Saturday.
Saturday
It was Saturday morning was when it broke.
Schefter and
Because it was
Darlington.
like, oh, how can Tom Brady steal the thunder from championship weekend even though he's not playing on it? I know.
Dude,
Will leak my retirement.
not even championship weekend. He just totally fucks over Big Ben.
Also, yes.
Whose announcement was like 8 hours old, and he's like,
I am also retiring.
I'm going to retire one better.
Yeah.
And he pulled like a Shaq on him, and everyone was
you,
like,
bitch.
the hell with Big Ben?
Brady-
He's a rapist.
Brady's the type of dude to propose to his girlfriend at somebody else's wedding.
During the vows.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
that's what Brady did to Big Ben on Saturday, which was hilarious. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about the fallout from Brady, his announcement, the salt, just the incredible. I mean, there is like the Dead Sea doesn't have as much salt as New England did today, for all the wrong reasons too. But again, just goes to
We went wild.
it goes to proving my point that Patriot fans are the biggest, whiniest, crybaby bullshit fans on the face of the earth.
This was like Crips versus Bloods today.
This was bad. This is ugly. If you're a Patriots fan and you're upset about this, then and you know what we're talking about, we'll get to it in a second, but you're just, dude, seriously, grow up. Grow up.
Grow up and think forwardly.
Yeah. Just think outside the box for 2 seconds. Stop being a goldfish for half a second. Oh, wait, you can't. So we'll talk about that. We'll talk about championship weekend. Joey Brrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr
week. This close. This close.
You took the Chiefs, didn't you?
No. I took Bengals and I
Oh,
took
right.
49ers.
Oh, that's right. You went Bengals, Niners. I went Rams, Chiefs.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So
That's
we,
what I
we
did.
flippity.
I did Rams,
We
Chiefs.
flippity floopitied.
Should have
No,
went with
I
the
was-
hot.
I was saying, I was like, I said Bungles. The Bungles are the team right
Bungles.
now.
The
I mean,
Bungles. The Bungles no more, ladies and gentlemen. The Bungles no more. Joey Burr got ice in his veins, and he took him back down from 18 in Arrowhead, the home of the Quiffs. And Patty Mahomes did what Patty Mahomes does. Goes 500 in AFC Championship games. So this has been outstanding. It's been an outstanding week for me for a lot of reasons. We'll get into the coaching carousel which is 2 of the 4 reasons why this week was outstanding for me. We'll get into the NFC Championship with Matthew Stafford getting his due and Jimmy, oh no, Garoppolo
Bro.
doing what Jimmy, oh no, Garoppolo does. I'm actually gonna defend Jimmy Garoppolo at some point here tonight. As
4.
minute as it may be, but I will defend him at one point. Let's start it right off with the Tom Brady stuff, guys. First of all, let our listeners know. If you want to call in, 774-992-8702 is the phone number. You can call us, give us your thoughts and feelings on everything and anything we just mentioned. And if we forgot anything and then is bothering you, by all means, shout us a holla down. And also, if you want to listen to this live broadcast anywhere other than Facebook Live, you can go over to www.mixlr.com/Joey-Fats, and you can get the live audio-only stream of this podcast. So you can grab it there, and then it'll be up on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and wherever else you get your streaming services, podcasts from your streaming services, usually within an hour or two after the show. So it's usually up there. Be up by tomorrow morning for sure. So if you miss it tonight, you'll have it for your morning commute in the morning, which I know will be better than our morning commute was Saturday morning on the way home.
It was ass.
It was a goddamn fucking whiteout.
I don't know how you guys drove home in that.
It was awesome.
That was about the only
You know how
thing
we drove home in it?
Guessing.
Very aggressively, very fast, and very uncertainly.
splitting cars.
Yeah, we were going 3 wide with cars. It was just like we were those dudes. We were like, nope, just came off a 16-hour shift. I'm not trying to get stuck on the highway. So, pew. And we bewed all the way home. It was fucking fun. It was fun as hell. You know, when you're sitting there and you can't see more than 50 to 75 feet out in front of you, and you're like,
even do 20,
and you're just driving down the highway, just going, faith in Christ.
Oh yeah.
Faith in Christ.
Bad
You
times.
you're just praying to God you don't see like a plow stopped in front of you for no reason while you're doing 65, knowing you have no chance of fucking missing it.
Was
Like,
there anybody else on the highway with you guys?
A couple. People
there was a few. We saw a
here
couple.
and
We saw a
there.
couple people parked off
Like
in the median.
super essential workers kind of thing. Yeah.
No.
Probably not.
No,
Just some woman
Just
going to the
idiots. Yeah, I need the bread and milk. You know what I mean? Kind of.
She
I
waited till
didn't
the last
know
minute.
it was going to make for snow like
Yeah.
this.
All right,
We caught up
they don't
to a
speak
couple
English.
convoys, but it
rough
wasn't too
time.
bad.
Well, I'm just assuming they're Portuguese because they're from around here.
Oh, I didn't.
Hi, Zuzuj. I know make for no snow.
I didn't know what accent you just made, and you're like, I was assuming they were Portuguese, and it's like I didn't know the accent you were trying to go for.
It's Fall River, New Bedford, Con. I mean, come on.
Well,
man.
you're coming from a different area. I didn't know they were like all the way.
I just assume everybody south of like Boston is inherently Portuguese.
Yeah, most of them anyway.
Not the predominantly Irish territory. Just
Not like I mean, like
Portuguese.
the further northeast you get, like you're like okay, as you range out of Fall River, New Bedford, but like Taunton, you're like still a lot of Portuguese. Then you start getting into like more Cape Verdes, which kind of like same idea. Or
No, it's not.
Cape Verde. I'm sorry, Azorians. You know,
Oh, okay.
because the
I was like,
Azorians.
wait a minute.
Because don't tell an Azorian they're Portuguese. By the way,
No, you don't.
No, they're Azorian. They're not Portuguese. They're no, I'm Azorian. Like, yeah, but the Azores are a part of Portugal.
All right, wait a minute. We're squirreling here. This is supposed to be about Tom Brady.
Yeah.
I know,
so,
right? Here we
anyway.
are about Portugal.
Anyway,
So
whoa, nothing.
Saturday.
So Saturday morning, the news breaks that per Jeff Darlington and Adam Schefter, the
Together.
tried, the true, the undeniable greatness that is Adam Schefter in terms of breaking news, come out with a report that Tom Brady is going to be announcing announcing his retirement.
No. He said it like Tom Brady's retiring. Period.
Yes, well, they said he would be announcing it any day. And then we speculated, well, will it be Monday night on his Let's Go podcast, or will there be will it be the last episode of The Man in the Arena? Ooh,
Smart.
Could have been that.
It's all marketing. Yeah.
It is. And then, of course, Tom Brady denies and says, I haven't told anybody shit. And it's like, well, listen, bro. I don't know if you know Adam Schefter, but he usually doesn't get these wrong. And then when ESPN doubled down on it, and they were like, no, we stand by our reporters and our report. And we're like, oh, baby, someone's getting fired.
Dude, they were like, if he plays this season, your ass is gone. And then they're not looking at Schefter, they're looking at the guy behind Schefter.
Yeah,
Some
yeah.
random intern.
It's just like the random kid holding like the little click thing, like the little the little marker tape thing,
Oh,
like
the guy,
the little clapboard.
the guy that's writing the scroll.
The ticker.
Yeah, there we go. That's that guy. They gotta fire him.
Yeah, and meanwhile he's like that kid that could fire the intern that could that put up the on the Giants Monday Night Football game. He just instead he's just like the same kid. He's like Adam Schefter sucking mad dicks. And he's like I ain't getting fired for this without getting fired for a reason. Fuck you.
Yeah, right.
Dude, what about Adam Schefter tearing his ACL doing the giddy
Dude, wild. Like, what an athlete. What an
3
athlete.
weeks ago?
What an athlete.
Jesus.
Did you see that?
No.
I'll show you later.
So
He was doing the stupid giddy dance that Justin Jefferson does, and
Yeah.
he tore his ACL.
Oh my God. That's amazing.
I mean, yeah, just hang it up at that point,
Yeah,
bro.
that's amazing.
Just like that's it. That's a career ender. Not because you can't come back from a torn ACL, because the embarrassment alone is enough to just nuke you,
Yeah, everyone was like, "Man, you're 5'3". Like, how did you tear your ACL that low to the ground?"
right? Like what did you put on? How much force did you put on that? All of like the
Oh my
112 pounds of body weight you have.
He's old.
It's like,
He's getting real old.
it's like my 14-year-old niece weighs more than you loser. Hit
So,
the gym.
so
Just kidding. I love you, Adam Schefter. You're the man.
So Schefter is the man. He comes out with that. Internet goes wild. Everyone's posting memes of like the Fast and the Furious thing where the cars are splitting, and it's like the NFL is going right and Tom Brady's driving left. There's one of like Harambe driving with Tom Brady. There's like everything you could possibly think of is happening. for,
The
like,
internet is going as the internet is expected to go.
NFL teams are tweeting like looking at like the sweating memes of like people like, is he really gone? Like,
My favorite one was the Jets. This better be real.
Yeah, I
yes,
saw that
this
one.
better be real.
But
Like,
seriously, congrats on a great career, blah
Yeah.
blah blah. But yeah, it was the meme game was strong
no,
on this.
the best was the Colts. The Colts posted a whole SpongeBob video where they're Squidward, and they put Tom Brady's face over SpongeBob, and he's like, "Oh, I'm gonna miss you so much, SpongeBob," and he goes inside his house and starts partying.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean the Colts every once in a while will get something right,
Yeah.
and I mean 1 out of 20 ain't bad, I guess.
Yeah.
At least they're not putting up any banners like played Tom Brady in X amount of playoff games with like a losing
Hey,
record underneath
there's,
it.
there's still time. We have some Colts news too.
Andrew Luck, they like hoist up like a thing. Andrew Luck went defeated against Tom Brady in the
yeah,
NFL
no shit,
playoffs.
because he did.
I'm sure you heard the Colts news. Maybe you didn't. I don't know. I'm not sure
haven't.
because it's been a crazy weekend.
Yeah.
The Colts reached out to Andrew Luck to see if he has interest in coming back.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh my.
Did they
God.
not see he looks like a skeleton
Yeah.
recently?
He looked like
He looked terrible.
he looked like an MIT grad
And
for sure.
And think of it this
You
way.
got to put on.
Not in a
30,
good
40
way.
pounds.
He looked like Jack Skellington from Nightmare Before Christmas, and they
Yeah.
asked him to come back instead of having Carson Wentz come back.
I know, right? That's bad.
They like rather have a homeless person come
Yeah,
back.
we'd rather have a 180-pound Andrew Luck who's supposed to be 240.
180.
Well, now that Josh McDaniels is the head coach of the Raiders, obviously his first order of business is going to be to jettison their current, incumbent quarterback.
get to
So-
that.
Right.
But we'll get to that in a minute.
I feel if Durant is listening, Durant, listen. I feel sorry for you, my friend. I've been on this show for years, since the Falcons comeback game, saying I need this motherfucker gone. And then Joey would talk me off his ledge, and I was like, he's gonna be the next coach, and I'm gonna kill myself. And Joey's like, nah, maybe he'll be better. And I'm like, no, he's shit. He's so bad. All his mistakes were covered by Brady. That's
right,
everything.
Right.
And then he's gone, and I'm like, I'm waiting for it too. I waited all weekend, and I was like,
For the haha, just kidding.
yes,
Yeah,
because
I
he
know.
pulled that with the Colts. He's like,
Yeah, right.
He's like, you know what? I ain't coming. He pulled the old Wolf of Wall Street routine and just said, I'm not coming. And then when I finally saw him in like that super tight button-up shirt that
With
was
his
too tight for
fat
him.
neck, yeah. I did.
Oh my God, that was not his size at all. And he's at the press conference and he's with bowl haircut himself, and I'm like, it's happening. He's gone.
Yeah.
I'm like, it's over. And then I realized, I'm like, this man fucked himself because he goes to the Raiders, which makes no sense for what he's been saying. I'm going on a rant right now.
Okay, yeah, let's hold on. Put a pin in that. Let's get to that in a minute.
Okay.
Let's get to that. Let's bring
All
it back to Brady. Let's stick with the Brady.
Squirreling a lot. Sorry.
Yeah,
people.
we've gone down a few squirrel holes already. We're only 23 minutes in, not even so.
Damn
20
it.
minutes. We've already gone down 3. We went from Azorians, Portuguese, Cape Verdeans,
Brady
Brady
several times.
to McDaniel. So we're all over the place right now. So let's keep it on Brady. So
Yeah.
so the news comes out that Brady's retiring. Obviously, the NFL, the memes were spectacular. But then Brady obviously throws a wrench into everything and is like, whoa, 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 whoa. who said I was retiring? And and as soon as he was like, I never said I was retiring, I was like, nice. He's gonna do this now, isn't he?
Right.
Like we all knew. I said it back in August that I had, and I said it on this show. I had a sneaking suspicion that this was Tom Brady's final year in the NFL.
Yeah, you said that back in August.
Win, lose, or draw. I had a feeling this was going to be his final year because the way the contracts were set up in Tampa, and Sean dissected that quite nicely for us in the past. And the way that the contracts were set up. Oh, sorry, am I boring you?
Sorry, yeah.
Jesus, yeah, you are.
No.
So the way that the way the contracts were set up, the way everything was, it looked like this was like, all right, let's run it back one more time, and then we'll see where the chips fall. And it felt like this was going to be Brady's last hurrah. Now, obviously, he was never going to say that because he said, "I'll quit playing when I suck," and I'm going to play till I'm 45, and then it was I might play past 45, and so on and so forth. So Brady obviously comes out and denies it, or doesn't deny it, but doesn't give, like, he's like, whoa, I never said this, which sends everyone into a tailspin. Now you've got all the Tom Brady sycophants and fanboys just sitting there like slobbing his knob. Oh, he's going to come back, and he's going to play 5 more years just out of spite, and he's going to set all the records and win 4 more Super Bowls, and just because he's so pissed off. And then he's going to show everybody. And I'm like, dude, shut the fuck up, bro. He's retiring. Like, he's done. Adam Schefter doesn't get these wrong.
No.
Very
Ever.
rarely, if ever, does Adam Schefter miss on a story, especially one of this magnitude.
Absolutely.
So this was an absolute no-brainer. I knew it was happening. I suspected it was going to happen months ago. Adam Schefter says it's going to happen. That makes sense. Makes perfect sense that this would happen. Now, the Bucs are not going to be a great team next year. They're going to lose a bunch of people in free agency.
Mm-hmm.
They don't have a ton of cap room. They don't have a ton of draft capital. I mean, they're not like hurting, but they're not anywhere like, you're drafting at the bottom of the first round at this point. There's not like a ton of impact stuff that's going to happen. Yeah, it makes sense that Brady would say, you know what? I didn't want to stick around for a rebuild in New England. I'm certainly not going to stick around for one in Tampa.
Mm-hmm.
There's also rumors that Bruce Arians might be out the door.
He's a fat piece of shit.
Especially
He's gonna totally rebuild.
At the very least, this is probably his
You don't like
last
Arians?
year in Tampa. So there's a lot going on there. If you're a Brady fan, if you're a Brady, you get a lot to weigh. And then of course you have the wife aspect of it, where if you've noticed over the last couple of years, she goes, "Oh, Tom, I do not want to see you get the heat."
I didn't know he was married to Borat.
Whatever. I don't know how to do whatever her accent is, but it sounds like the. Oh, she goes, Gronk, are you okay, baby?
She's
I
an
love
old
you.
Italian woman.
Yeah, that's what she is now.
Gronk, bibbidi-boo.
Gronk, bibbidi boppity boopity. You get hit in your poopity. What the hell happened to you, pity? And then.
Some amazing impressions tonight.
Yeah, right. Yeah, there's gonna be a lot of these probably tonight. I feel like this is one of those shows where this is gonna be.
It might go off the rails with
Yeah,
impressions.
because we
Wait
might-
till I get to the McDaniel stuff.
We might lose this, right?
And
So-
Belichick.
Yeah. Where Belichick just sounds like Shaq for no reason all of a sudden.
Hey, bitch.
Hey, Josh,
No, well, don't do it.
Josh McDaniels took the Raiders' job. He's a bitch.
Suck these nuts.
Suck these nuts.
All right, I don't want to do it yet. Nope, I have my own grades for
I'm gonna
those.
have my dog Nike call the offensive plays. Be better than that bitch McDaniels.
Probably would.
I mean, I know you would love that. But so what was your thoughts before we dive into the fan reaction of today's actual retirement? Because so we had this whole weekend of speculation where it's like, oh, maybe he's not retired, maybe he's coming back, and you had people holding out hope,
Nope.
hoping against hope, and they're like, well, it ain't over yet, and I'm like, bro,
Yeah.
he's done.
Yeah.
I'm like, if anything, he's holding out till February 4th when $15 million of his $20 million signing bonus becomes due to him, and then he can retire after that. But even still,
That would have been smart.
there's provisions
It's a
in
bad look
language.
for him,
There's
though.
provisions in the
Yeah.
in language in the
Taking all
contract
your
where the
money.
Bucks wouldn't have to pay him that,
Yeah, exactly.
so they could recoup some of it. They're probably just going to pay it to him anyway at this point.
Maybe. Yeah.
It's not going to count against the cap, so
But I've seen all this before. As soon as Brady posted a picture of the stadium, and he was just like, "I want to thank everybody," I'm like, "He gone." Immediately, I knew it from that one picture he posted like on Thursday or Friday, and then you heard the whispers of like, "Oh, Giselle's really talking to him about like, we'd really like you to be more of a father. And I'm like, oh, he is definitely gone.
Mm-hmm.
And then, if anything, Giselle probably texted Adam Schefter, my husband cannot play the game and watch his kids at the same time. So,
My husband cannot play the game and throw the football and kiss my son on the mouth at the same exact time. What the make wrong with you? I make a bolognese and
But
my
listen,
husband is not home to enjoy.
she definitely does not make bolognese. There is
I don't know why
no
she's
way.
Italian either. She's not.
She is not Italian. She's
furthest
Brazilian.
Yeah, I know. Furthest
Again,
thing from Italy.
Portuguese, going
Yeah.
back. See, if we were comedians, just bringing it all back, that's perfect
Yeah,
right there.
it is.
So I'm
What do you
totally
mean,
fine with this.
if we were comedians?
Well, partially. So bringing this all back to the original story, I was like, oh, he's done. Like, I know, like, unequivocally, he's done. Like, there's no way he's coming back from this. He did what I always wanted him to do, go out on a high note. He didn't win the big one. He should have done it last year, like I said. You should have won. You went with a new team. You won it all in the first year. Just leave. He has a very good year statistically. Then he leaves. Okay, you didn't
One of
win
his
it all.
best years statistically. I think actually the
I think it's
second
top
best.
two.
I think the second best year statistically of his
Only
career.
to 07.
Yeah.
Yeah. So again, great job. Like I'm glad.
Still barely broke 40
I'm
touchdowns.
glad.
bitch.
I'm glad he's gone.
Glad.
So I can finally like root for him again. Because this whole season I've been like, I hope they fucking lose every game.
But can you root for him, Sean? Because he really,
not yet.
really
We're-
snubbed you guys.
No, we're on Saturday still.
So,
then-
sorry, the timeline hasn't accelerated
And
yet.
then I'm going to accelerate the timeline. I'm going to go forward. So we skip over Sunday, obviously, where the games happen and blah, 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 blah. We come to Monday. Nothing happens today, Tuesday. Everything's been happening on Tuesday lately. Tom Brady writes this 7-page soliloquy on Instagram notes or Instagram posts or whatever it is. And the whole thing is Buck related. Now, my first reaction to it was, well, that's weird. Like, my gut reaction was like, not a single thing to the Patriots. I'm like, that's really weird. And then after about 6 minutes, I'm like, oh, it's because he's definitely going to do something else because either A, marketing material, B, he's going to sign a one-day contract, or C, he's going to make one of those like crazy videos that he does and like post it out there, or he's just going to come back in person and have like a press conference like Peyton Manning did, which I loved. That was like an 18-minute press conference. Peyton Manning crushed that press conference. That was like the best goodbye you could ever get.
Yeah.
He thanked Patriots fans for hating him, which I thought was fucking amazing. Like that was like part of the best. Like, and he was just like ribbed himself, and I hope Brady's is even remotely close to that.
I can't imagine it's going to be something small. He's gonna
No,
do
yeah,
something.
he's gonna do something big. So it did not bother me, whatever.
Yeah, just give him some time, Patriots fans.
And then
fucking simmer down,
Today,
okay?
Joey's texted me earlier today, and Joey's like, "Oh, you seeing all this crazy salt that's happening right now?" And I'm like, "No." And I go and look at it, and I'm like, everything's like on fire. People are like, "He didn't say nothing about my mother," and it was just like it was like people were like shocked that he didn't like say thank you or like mention anything about Patriots fans or Belichick or Kraft, and people were taking this like he had come to their house, shit on their doorstep, and then left without even leaving a note that it was him.
Yeah.
And it was unbelievable. Unbelievable. And I think in literally a few days, a week, a month, whatever time frame it takes, there will be some big grand gesture, him coming back, them retiring his number, blah, 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 blah.
Right.
If you don't think Brady's number is getting retired or his jersey's getting retired,
Oh, yeah,
I don't believe in that. But for him with the Patriots, it's a sure thing.
Yeah. They're
That's
going to
it.
retire shit.
Yeah, and that's the only one I care about.
Did
I
the
don't-
Colts retire Andrew Luck's number?
No.
No.
I mean, they throw random shit up in the rafters, so I
I
just
know,
didn't know
right?
that was the thing.
Hey,
So
thanks to
I
this
just,
guy who played for us for 5 years. It was awesome. You didn't do much, but
You didn't do much, but damn, that comeback against the Chiefs was really fucking cool.
sick, bro.
Really
You gave
fucking
us
cool.
hope.
As you guys are not Patriots fans,
This has
how
been
did you take
glorious.
it? This is like
This has
hilarious.
been fucking hilarious to me because, like you said, people were acting on social. My folder that I have on my phone that I have called "Dumb Shit Football Takes" got like 20 screenshots bigger in a matter of like 30 minutes today. It was amazing how many people were coming out acting like Brady A, owed them something, and B, like he didn't thank them a year ago or a year and a half ago, whatever it was, when he left to go to the Bucs. These people are out here acting like Tom Brady. He didn't say nothing about the Patriots, their fans, nothing. And I'm like, so what? Like you're begging for acknowledgement from a 44-year-old athlete who doesn't even know you exist. First of all,
I paid
Cringy.
$329.99 for your jersey.
cringy.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, bro, Tom Brady was the ultimate, and the best way I heard it put was the ultimate, like, dad, I'm going to go out. I'm running out to grab a pack of cigs. I'll be back. And just never came back. Like, he totally did that. I saw a couple people make that analogy today. It was hilarious because it was true.
was
He
hysterical.
definitely dicked over the Patriots. He was like, nope, don't want to be here anymore. Bye. He threw up double-barreled middle fingers to you when he left to go to Tampa. You still groveled at his feet and wore his, split half Patriot, half, Buck jersey.
By the way,
Which,
if I
again,
may,
is so cringy.
if
Unless
I may
you're
jump
like,
in
God.
for that one thing, if you wore a split jersey or a Bucks jersey any time in the last 24 months, stay in Tampa.
You're no longer allowed to root for the
I
Patriots.
don't want you back. I don't want you rooting for my boy Mac and cursing him with your gingivitis or whatever you got. Just stay the fuck in Tampa. I don't want you back. Suck Bruce Arians off. I can't stand that dude.
Seriously, I mean, it was so bad, but the amount of salt that was just flowing through Facebook and social media today was incredible.
You were right, because sometimes Joey has a tendency to over-exaggerate. Joey's like, yo, the whole place is on fire, and I'm like, yeah, there's like 2 people complaining.
Yeah.
But then today he was dead on, and then he was sending me screenshots, and I'm like, who's this dude? I'm not gonna say his name. Like, who's this dude? And you're like, just some guy I know. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, this guy's like ready to blow up this house.
like-
He's like straight crying. Like,
So I even went as far like I don't know, over the summer or like late last spring. I started like following like random Patriot fan pages on Facebook just so I could like kind of keep my thumb on the pulse a little harder because, and we'll get to this too.
I
with
can
the,
tell you some good ones.
We'll get to the oh, don't worry, Nick, we're gonna get up to the racist Dolphins, Giants, and John Elway's.
Oh, I can't wait.
That's gonna be fun.
Oh Lord.
can't wait.
But I can't tell you like how much fun it is to go through social media because it just exposes everybody for being a complete moron.
Yeah.
And so just like imagine being so narcissistic and so self-centered that you think a 44-year-old 7-time Super Bowl champion quarterback owes you something.
Right.
I'm sorry, we went through this with Simone Biles during the Summer Olympics when she didn't, decide to bow out because of her mental health, and everybody was, and admittedly it was people on the right. There was a lot of right-wing pundits that were crucifying Simone Biles for, wearing the goat slippers and then just being like, nah, I'm not really about it. And we defended her and we're like, yo, like, well, she's representing the country. I'm like, bro, she doesn't owe you a fucking thing.
No kidding.
Right.
She doesn't owe any of us anything. If she decides she can't do it because she doesn't feel safe or doesn't feel like it's within her scope or purview of doing of accomplishing, who the fuck am I to tell you, bitch, get the fuck up on them uneven bars and do 72 little doop-de-doop flip-flops and don't break your neck and bring me home a fucking gold medal.
Right.
First of all, no, I don't give a shit if you bring home a gold medal. First of all, I'm proud of you for going and making it to that level. Good job. Okay? Good job. You dedicated your life to something, and you became one of the best in the world at it. Okay? Tom Brady dedicated his entire life to football and became one of the best in the world at what he does. And he happened to do it for a lot longer than anybody else has ever done it, at a level that no one had ever did it for that long. Okay? He didn't get a neck injury like Peyton Manning. He didn't break his clavicle like Aaron Rodgers. He didn't get knocked the fuck out like, Joe Montana and Steve Young. There was things that Tom Brady didn't do over the course of his career. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not sitting here and saying he's the GOAT. I've never thought Tom Brady was the best to ever do it. I still stand by that, and I will sit here and debate anybody until I'm blue in the face over why he's not the best. You can call him the best, and I'm not going to jump down your throat for it, but I am going to look at you like you're slightly uneducated because you probably don't know as much as I do, and in that case, we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a beef. That being said, Brady is one of the best to ever do it. You want to put him at 1, 5, 10, I really don't care. I mean, all right, 10 might be a little ridiculous.
It's opinion-based.
But Brady, the best thing Brady ever did that nobody else did was avoid major injuries. He had 1 year where he got rolled up on by the great one, Bernard Pollard, the greatest safety in the history of the fucking world, my all-time number 1 favorite player forever.
That man's a psycho.
I'm the founding member of his fan club.
That man's a psycho.
He is.
Yeah, he's also a huge iRacing and NASCAR fan now.
No, I know.
Which I love because I can't wait. I'm gonna start my iRacing account next week, and my goal is to get good enough where that I end up in a lobby with Bernard Pollard, and I'm gonna put the picture of Bernard Pollard blowing out Brady's knee on the hood of my iRacing car, and just be like, "Hey Bernard, what's up, bro?" So every time he looks in the rearview mirror, he's gonna see him Supermaning into Brady's knee, and hopefully that'll fuck him up, and I can just wiggle him loose a little bit and turn forward.
Put him
scoot
in the
by.
wall.
No, I don't put him in the wall. I just want to rattle his cage a little bit.
Put him in the fucking
He's
wall.
gonna take that personal. He's gonna be like, "Oh, you trying to disrespect my family?
I know, right?
Block you."
This man put me on the roof of his car.
And
I
he
took
put me
that
in the wall.
personally.
Yeah. and then he put
So,
him in the wall.
Brady was the best thing Brady ever did was play longer than anybody else ever has at that level. And granted, I think we will see it again because the way the rules in the NFL, everything is catered now to the quarterbacks.
100%. Maybe not Joe Burrow though.
We'll
He's gonna be handicapped in like 3 years.
well, yeah, maybe, but
Yeah,
we'll
he'd
see.
be running a little bit more than
A lot of these guys, though, that are coming out, the good ones. You look at all the major, like Patty Mahomes, Allen, Burrow. These all guys, they're all nifty on their feet. I'm not gonna say they're great runners. Like Lamar Jackson's a great runner.
Right.
These guys are just effective runners. Like
Burrow gets out of some damn
we'll
shitty
get
situations.
we'll get into Burrow going straight fucking Houdini on
looking
Frank
like
Clark.
Eli in the Super Bowl,
Yeah.
just like spinning out of shit. And
Yeah,
I'm like,
but
whoa.
That's like once a drive.
That's what I'm saying. He's
That's
nuts
bad.
like that shit. Yeah, I know, but that's because his whole line blows.
But to my point, was Brady did this longer than anybody, and you still have people in New England. Like it's almost as if like New England fans like understood that Brady was going to go to Tampa. Like, but they were like, all right. It's like when your girlfriend comes to you and she's like, I need some space, and you're like, but I don't want to break up. And she's like, but I need some space. You're like, all right, I'm gonna let you go bang that other dude, but you're still my girlfriend. So New England fans were the cucks in this situation, because it's almost like they had this weird possession of Brady. Like, all right, I know he's on the Bucks, but he's still our fucking guy, okay? You can have him for 2 years, but he's still my fucking guy. Meanwhile, he's out there getting railed by the Bucks, and they're like, woo, fun times, yeah.
Winning championships.
Winning championships. Meanwhile, you're up here with fucking Cam Newton throwing dirt balls in the ground.
You could have used one of many analogies. You went with cuck as your go-to.
I feel like it was appropriate.
Not like he's our child. Not like he's like a family member. Cucking.
Cucked out.
That's the analogy you went with.
Did it work? I mean, I think it worked.
Of course you could
Yeah.
fit it in. You could fit a cucking with a lot of things,
I
but
know.
you don't have to use that one.
But why not?
I would
It
not
works.
say it was like a cuck relationship.
It was but it was only a cuck relationship for the New England fans, because the New England fans, they're sitting there with that metal thing on their balls that they keep tightening up.
Oh my God! You are obsessed. Too many sexual references about Brady in one thing.
but they're sitting there watching Brady and the Bucks just have this grand old time down south, and they're like, he'll come back to me.
It was definitely
He'll
that
come back to me.
looking out the window SpongeBob meme and where Squidward and SpongeBob and Patrick are running around having parties, and we're just like,
And then
bastard.
And then on top of it, and then Brady gets, him and the Bucks break up. They end their little 2-year extramarital affair, because the Patriots fans and Brady in this scenario are still married on paper. They haven't quite divorced yet, but Brady's.
All right, this is now a different analogy from cucking.
So-
now this is like we've been separated, but we still haven't got the pen and
Well,
paper for divorce.
Brady and the Bucks and everyone involved knew that they were separated except the Patriots fans. That's why they're so
my
mad
God.
today.
Okay, yes.
So they're
Go ahead.
sitting there watching them, watching their quarterback go out and win championships, ergo get railed, and they're sitting there going, "Fuck, okay, it's done. All right, fine, it's over. I finally get my boo back. Like, thank God. Now we
My
can move.
boo.
Now we can move on with life." And meanwhile, Brady's just like, "Hold on, just one more going away, BJ. Just one more BJ out the door. Let me fillet you one more time." And it's like the Patriots fans were like, "Well, what about us?" And he's like, "Well, what about you?" And they just lose their shit. That's when dishes start flying and get out of my house, and clothes get thrown out on the front lawn. And
It was pretty bad today.
it was ugly.
I am very proud that no one burned their Brady jersey in the backyard in like a pit of snow.
Yeah.
Oh,
I've
that would've
not
been
seen
perfect.
Any of those.
Someone
would've been
someone
perfect.
probably did it, but we don't know who they are yet.
No, the video's coming. But maybe not now, because then all of a sudden, so Sean and I are watching this whole meltdown go on. We're watching, Chernobyl unfold in New England on Facebook, and we're like, this is fucking
We're
hilarious.
calling in and be like, you might want to shut down that reactor.
Yeah.
You're just not listening.
And meanwhile, the guy's like, 3.6 Roken. Not great, not terrible. And we're like, nope, it's definitely worse than that. You might want to pull the plug. And meanwhile, nobody's pulling the plug. They're just like fanning the flames and fuck Tom Brady. And I saw hashtag fuck Tom Brady was trending for a while today on social media, which was fucking awesome. I died laughing. I was like, this is the greatest day ever. The guy that these fucking people worshipped. He walks on water. He can turn water into wine. He's the greatest to ever do it. Did you know he's 44?
He doesn't even eat strawberries.
And they're like, and all of a sudden, all these same people are like, fuck Tom Brady. And I'm like, wow, this has come full circle.
And they'll be,
What a fucking week it has been to be me. Let me just tell you.
and they'll be back in 2 weeks.
The Broncos hire the guy I wanted him, for the head coaching job. The Raiders hire Josh McDaniels. The Chiefs lose in the AFC Championship game. And then Brady retires and subsequently makes all of New England fucking hate him for at least an hour and a half, because the best part about this whole thing was Sean and I in the background, we're sitting here going, you guys might want to chill the fuck out a little bit. You're not seeing the whole shit. You're not seeing the whole story here. There's more to come. And you're like, nope, fuck him. Terrible look. I could even go through the screenshots and read you some of them.
No need. No need. There's some of them are bad.
No, and everybody's going through and they're saying their piece and they're so angry. And let's just read one real quick.
Oh
Let's just read
God.
one.
I'm going to blow this house up right now. Tom Brady doesn't come back.
All right, I'm not going to mention names because I work
No
with,
names.
'cause
Do not mention names.
I work with some of these people.
Oh, Jesus. That's
so-
too much information.
I'm saying some. I'm not even reading the person. Never mind. Doesn't matter.
Gotcha.
It pisses me off, man. He's literally Roger Clemens 2.0. He didn't like it here. He moved on and just going to look at Boston as a place that he lived and played for a few months a year.
What, bro?
He's Roger Clemens 2.0 now.
My dude lived here for a decade.
2 decades. Two
Well,
decades.
in the beginning, he would leave and come back.
But he
he,
lived
for the majority of his career, he lived in Boston.
Did these people forget this man brought them to 10 Super Bowls? Or 8 Super Bowls? 1 6?
9.
9.
9 and 1 6.
9 and 1 6.
I hope Tom Brady hates all Patriot fans. I hope
No,
he
he
does.
does
He's from
not. No,
California
he
and he played in
doesn't.
Michigan. He probably
He
hates all
doesn't.
of you
He
too. You know
does
what I mean?
not.
So
No, but then the best part about this was then all of a sudden, like a little while later, as all this meltdown is happening, like an hour and a half later, 2 hours later, it comes out. It's like, oh yeah, Brady's all. Yeah. By the way, guys, Brady already talked to Kraft. He's flying him in on his private jet like tomorrow to make an announcement. There's gonna be a ceremony.
Apparently, that's a little bit ahead. It's not going to be tomorrow, but in time.
In time or whatever, it's going to happen. And it's like everybody's like, well, why did he have to say it like that? Like. It goes right back to the whole LeBron James getting mad at the guy for the Porter Jr. thing, where he's like, just like his dad, ice cold with the timing, pulling of the trigger.
oh yeah.
And then everybody was like, well, he should have known that.
right.
He should have known that Porter Jr.'s dad
Was a murderer.
killed somebody and not have said that because he made me look stupid because I knew that, but that guy didn't. But because I'm racist, I see everything in race, and that's racist somehow. I'm
I'm going to keep it real. I had no idea Porter Jr.'s dad killed somebody.
nobody
none.
did. I didn't. Do you know who knew? Some random guy on Twitter.
Some guy's like,
Some
"His
random
dad's a
guy
murderer."
some random guy on Twitter like clipped it and was like, "Wow, this is what it's really come to."
He's been holding
And-
on to that for some time. He's
Yeah.
like, he's listening to every broadcast, hates that team with a passion,
Yep.
doesn't even care if they win or lose. He's like, if someone says something about ice cold in his veins,
Getting him.
button.
Dead.
I'm
No one
getting
better
it.
make any fucking references about pulling a trigger with this man shooting a basketball.
Yeah. Who the
Well, he was waiting for anything. He was waiting for bang. He's like, I got him. He pushed the button.
That's because that's all it is today. Like somebody's out there, somebody could be out there listening to this show. And
Oh,
they're just
absolutely.
Like, I'm just waiting for one of these motherfuckers to slip. Come on, give it to me. And I mean, we've slipped probably 7-8 times a minute, but nobody cares because
That's just the content of the show. We're not
they
trying
can't.
to be.
Because you know what? You know why? Because they can't call and harass our advertisers. You know why?
We don't got none.
Because we ain't got none, baby.
We're broke. By the way, Bang, if you want
broke
to personally sponsor me,
Yeah.
what was the advertisement I destroyed last week? I was like hyping up a pizza. Forget it in the restaurant.
Oh, were you doing? No, it wasn't Sasquatch. You were doing.
Candleworks. Is that it?
Yeah, I think it was Candleworks.
Candleworks?
Yeah.
Oh, was it Power Rappers?
I don't know. I messed up some name, and I was like, sponsor me, and they were just like, you get the name of the place wrong. Well, that's gone.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah.
right. Yeah, I forget what place.
If
it
I could
was.
have like three
Shit, who
dream
was it?
sponsors for their show,
No.
it would be Bang, Kettle One, and
Oh.
Oakley.
Oh wow. Okay. I'm cool. Yeah. As soon as you said bang, I was like, all right, I'm all in.
Oh, sorry. And Secret Lab.
Secret Lab. I thought you were gonna.
Oh,
say
yeah,
that.
nice.
And Secret Lab. Yeah, because you guys definitely need new chairs.
Yeah, that'd be dope.
Definitely need new chairs. Secret Lab. I got the desk. I got all the accoutrements for the desk. I got the chair. I would totally buy 2 more at, say, I don't know, 40% discount.
You gotta get on Twitch. You gotta get on Twitch, and they'll just have you just run advertisements, and they'll just give it to you.
Well, maybe we'll have to do that next week. Maybe we'll go live on Twitch and YouTube next week. Fuck
Why the
it.
hell not?
I'm telling you,
Just
man.
send it.
Like,
You know,
get-
the only thing
Do
that sucks
it.
about going live on Twitch and YouTube
is that it's kids?
is no. Twitch and YouTube will let you broadcast in like true HD.
Yeah.
Facebook's like 420 is the best they can do for you, bro.
Brrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrrr
that just like kills Twitch and YouTube, which is why I haven't done it yet because I'm like, I don't want to put a shitty product out on YouTube and Twitch, and people just be like, because you know how Twitch
Just
people
grow
are, like,
Twitch.
especially Twitch people, Twitch
Tweet.
people are gonna be like, fucking broadcasting on
Sus.
Facebook Live. Wow, that's sus, bro.
No, they really are. Yeah.
Sus, brah.
And they're
Like-
like 9-year-old kids that know all about computers like the back of their hand.
They're gonna be
Yeah,
like, why?
well-
And they're like, why are there no Asian girls dressed up like Pikachu's dancing around in the background? What the fuck
Where
is this?
where
Because
are
this show's not for you
where
little shit.
No, and they're like, where are your stuffed animals behind you? You're like, I don't have any. They're like,
Nick, all right, this is not a titleist show, okay, bro? We are a Snell Golf only show.
oh,
all right,
Jesus
bro?
Christ.
No.
Come on, man.
Hey, shout out Snell.
Shout out Snow
Great
Golf.
guy.
Snell Golf. Where's the hats? Right, should be right there.
Right behind. Yeah.
Yeah, give Paul the hat. Give Paul the snow hat.
Oh, there we go.
Give Paul the snow hat. There you go.
Yeah.
There it is, right there. Boom.
Snow Golf.
Snow Golf, baby. The
Uh,
number one golf ball in America.
So yeah, so Tom Brady retired. Patriots fans can handle it like shit. Moving on.
Well, no, I mean, there's still more to it because now we're officially into Tom Brady retired territory. So now let's take a quick gander
Okay.
at the gaping asshole that is now the NFC South because Sean Payton's gone, Tom Brady's gone, Matt Ryan suddenly became fucking king of the castle in that division.
Atlanta might win the division.
At-
by, like,
Atlanta
easily.
might win the division with 5 wins next year.
No,
No
they'll have like
shit.
10 wins now. Because they're
Well, yeah,
just
they're
gonna
gonna
smoke
feast.
Well,
6
they're gonna
teams.
smoke. Yeah, they're gonna get.
Dude, the Panthers the Panthers are dumping everybody. They're like, hey, does anybody want McCaffrey? Cheap. Because they just can't afford the contract. They're like, we got to get rid of him. And
Yeah.
then the Saints have to dump $80 million in salary.
Oof.
$80 million they have to
80.
cut. So
Why do you think Sean Payton was like, you know what?
I'm
I'm going to head out.
So
before this dumpster fire gets
they're
out
gonna
of
move.
control.
They're gonna move Michael Thomas and Kamara combined. They're $42 million combined, and they still have to dump another $40 million of salary to even get under the cap to sign new rookies and stuff like that.
I'd take Michael Thomas on the Colts.
Everybody would take him, but he's like, you don't know about him. That's exactly what you don't know. And then
We'll find
Buccaneers.
out about him.
Buccaneers, honest to God, what are they going to be? I mean, Godwin's leaving. They're going to have a mass exodus of like players that signed a 1-year deal to come back. Like all those guys, like didn't like the Levante David sign like a 2-year deal with like an option for next year?
What's Fournette on?
Fournette is coming up to be gone. Chris Godwin is definitely gone.
gone.
Antonio Brown gone. Mike
yeah,
Evans,
Antonio Brown's gone.
yeah, definitely gone. I'm saying like a lot of their core pieces are leaving, and then defensively, a lot of your defensive guys, like you have JPP, Sue, a lot of those guys were ready for retirement already.
Oh, sorry, whoever just called in. Sorry, I missed that. I was
A
looking at the
lot of those guys are ready for retirement
call us
already.
back.
A lot of those guys were ready for retirement already, so
Right.
you might have a lot of those guys retire this offseason.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And
Tampa's
it's just
about
like
to be gutted.
exactly that might be like a 2-15 team next year.
Could be terrible, right?
I'm dead ass serious.
Yeah, Levante David's under contract for this year, and that's it.
Yep.
2022, and then he's they've already voided the last 3 years of that contract
Damn.
because he signed the 2-year extension. So it was this year and next year. So yeah, he's gone. I mean, you're right. To your point, Sean, you're absolutely right. The bug. It's gonna be a shit show in the South for the NFC coming up here in the next year.
Facts.
Joey Fats Radio, row 1, seat 1.
Oh god damn, we get this again.
Heavy
Fuck
breathing.
the Broncos.
Don't hang up.
I mean, okay.
Go on.
Someone must be mad their team hired Josh McDaniels.
Bro, fuck. Dude, I'm so pissed that Josh McDaniels goes to the Raiders. Fuck the Raiders. We
Wait.
need him on the Pats.
What? No, we don't. Who is this? This is triggering me now.
Who is this? Who is this? Josh McDaniels' kid?
I know. Who is this? No, why would you hang up?
The champion has defecated in the cup.
You asked too many questions.
He triggered me at the end. It's supposed to be on you.
I actually got a beat on the voice. I think I might have an idea who that might be now.
Can we call him Chimpy in the meantime? He always ends with he always hangs up with doing the monkey noises.
Chimpy? Really? In 2022?
Gorilla E? I don't give a shit what you
go
call
with?
him.
That's what you want to go with, Sean?
Joe's like, all right, cut. All right, I gotta cancel this.
And the
Fucking
show
delete
is
the
canned.
episode.
Delete
the episode. Should be great.
Fuck off.
Yeah, Nick, I agree. We do got to get Snell to release some dope ass fucking cleats. My new thing now is like collecting golf shoes. Like I gotta have like a different pair for every time I play. If I play 5 times a week, I can't wear the same pair twice.
You know what's fucked up is I just can't find a fucking comfortable pair that I like.
Really? Have you tried Pumas?
Both my Nikes suck.
But yeah, you
Are
know
you
the Nikes
flat-footed?
you got were fucking too small for you though. No.
No, they were supposed to, Nike
are-
golf shoes just run small.
No,
I don't know.
No, they
Nikes
run
are
thin.
narrow.
Narrow. You got to get
Yeah.
wide, bro. You got to get the wides. That's what I
That's
do.
why I was asking if
Fine.
you have flat feet. If you have flat feet,
No,
then a
no.
lot of shit's gonna be uncomfortable for
No,
you.
a lot of Nike shit just runs tight on me. I don't know why. But
'Cause
like
it's
my
narrow.
Because you got a
Narrow.
fat ass foot.
even
Yeah.
the but I even
What the fuck?
I even walk
Jeez.
around with the NMDs on, dude, and I still they're like
Fucking
Oh,
ball
fuck
bu-
off, David.
fucking,
It is not.
Fucking brain busters over here. I don't know why these shoes are fucking so tight on me. Because you got a fat ass foot, you fat piece of
fucking
shit.
Fat feet. You got fat feet.
Didn't have any racial intent with that name, and
So-
now I'm being like blackmailed into being like you're racist.
It was a joke. But
I
speaking of fat, so my wife roasted me earlier for being fat. So I told my wife, I was like, yeah, man, like I gotta drop a couple pounds. Like I weighed in today at like 317, which is like up like 6 or 7 pounds from where I've been usually at because I haven't really been working out as much as I usually do, and I've been taking some pretty some pretty big liberties with my diet, if you could call it that. And so I eat dinner and like I tell my wife like, yeah, I gotta get back in the show. I went to the gym today. I did cardio
Nice.
twice. Lifted weight, did cardio, lifted weights, did more cardio,
Nice.
and then I come home. I eat my dinner. Which had a very healthy chili that I made, and then I go and I'm like, well, I want some dessert. So I go to the pantry closet in the hallway, and I'm searching for these they're like these like coconut chocolate caramel cookies that we have from Aldi that my wife gets, and I'm in the fucking closet and I'm getting the cookies, and I just hear my wife from the living room go, babe. I go, yeah. She goes, what did you say you weighed in at this morning? Oof.
That hurts.
I was just like, goddamn.
Tub of shit.
Yeah,
I was like, hold up. Yeah, burn unit.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got one coming up. And of course, she starts dying laughing. I start laughing. I'm dying and crying inside, but I'm laughing. And but yeah, my wife got me good.
But still, the cookies were bomb as fuck.
But the cookies were good. And guess what? I was only gonna have 2. I ate 4 of them motherfuckers.
And you're like, I proved. I went to the gym for nothing.
Yeah. I just undid
erased
everything I fucking did today. What? Don't
Fuck
give a
it.
fuck. 774-992-8702. That's the phone number. If you want to give us your thoughts, let's hear from some Patriots fans about Brady. Let's hear it. Come on. I want to hear from some of you about something. And I want to know why. Are you one of these people that was super salty? Are you one of these people that was comparing him to Roger Clemones?
That doesn't even make sense, that comparison.
It does and it doesn't.
Not really.
Not really.
But the amount of people that were just irate. I mean, I was going through some threads today.
Dude, it's like if we let go of Brady at like 32 and we were like, he's at the twilight of his career, and then he went on and dominated for like 15 years after that. We let him go. He was 42. I mean,
Yeah.
come on. Like, shit. Like, we were squeezing the shit out of these lemons. Like, "Grrrr." It's like, oh my God, at what point are you going to say, probably going to be towards the end? Albeit, he still played great for the last 2 years, but still, like,
Yeah.
can't keep plucking.
No, it's gonna listen. The gravy train's gonna stop rolling at some point. And you know what? Maybe Brady's doing. Maybe, and this is my theory on this. Maybe Brady knew, like after this year, there was no chance in hell he was gonna go out and throw 40 touchdowns next year.
He
He
definitely
wasn't
knew.
gonna break 5,000 yards. Maybe he feels it in his body. He's like, this was a struggle. I haven't struggled like this in ever. The team's not looking great. It's not set up. I don't like the situation. You know what? I'm going to go out because now, in a way, and I want to give props to my little cousin for kind of coming up with this theory on Saturday when he called me when the news broke. he called me, was like, because he's like, I had to talk to somebody that knew what was going on. He says, do you think Brady did it this way? Brady's going out after this season because now it takes him out of the, well, Big Ben waited maybe 2 years too many. Peyton wasn't Peyton in his final year. Elway went out with 338 yards in the Super Bowl, 3 touchdowns and the Super Bowl MVP. But Elway in 98 wasn't Elway from 88, obviously.
Of course not.
But he was, maybe Brady went out at this point, like on this kind of like almost not a high note win-wise, but personally, statistically, a high note. Because now he can just say, look, I could have kept going. I chose to walk away. It was 100% my decision. This game doesn't own me. I'm not defined by this. Do you think there was some of that to Brady? Because I feel like that was spot on.
150,000%. That is 100% accurate. If he was guaranteeing, when he won the Super Bowl last year, I said, retire. I pleaded all offseason. And all offseason, he's like, we're bringing the band back together. I'm bringing Gronk. And he kept saying that, we're getting the band back together. And it was like, and you pointed it out, I pointed out free agency-wise, that he was convincing all these guys to take cheap one-year deals to come back and play. Antonio Brown, Leonard Fournette, Levante David, all the defensive players.
Sorry, every time I hear Antonio Brown's name now, I chuckle.
Dude, it's just like, it's all these guys, and they were just like, I was like, why did all these guys come back for 1 year? If he's playing for 3-4 years, like, it seems like he wants to win one more and then head out. And that was the goal. And this year, it all broke down. He lost Chris Godwin. He lost his running backs. He lost Fournette for a few weeks there. He lost all of his running backs for a couple weeks there. There was 1 week where he only had Scotty Miller and Mike Evans got hurt during the game, so it was Scotty Miller and, like, new guys.
Gronk.
No, Gronk had a bad year. Gronk only had 600 yards receiving. Like, everyone's like, oh, Gronk's back. No, Gronk played every game, but he barely played in every single game. Just because he was
he only
there.
played like 35% of the snaps, I think,
Right,
right?
and just because he was there every game does not mean he's healed. No, his body was shit. Like, and he even says it himself. Gronk waited for Brady to make an announcement. He's like, what's Brady doing? He retired? I'm out.
Yeah.
And he's retiring. He's not doing shit.
Is Gronk retiring now, too? Because last I had heard Gronk was thinking about running it back one more time with the Bucs and sticking around.
That was last Wednesday. He said, someone asked him point blank, hey, you coming back next year? And he goes, what day is it? He goes, I'll let you know in a few weeks. He had no idea what day it was or anything like that. To be that kind of person where you have no idea the time or space, he's just like, it's day. He knows it's light out, but that's all he knows.
Is it time to do football? No? Okay. I don't, then call me when it is.
He's 100% waiting on Brady's decision.
What
now
a
they
life.
got it, and now he's like, I'm out. He's retired.
Remember he was banging BB Jones? That whole thing?
Yeah, he flew her out, too.
Yeah, it was awesome.
That was a great move.
I do remember that.
That was fun. Remember she had his jersey on and everybody was like, how dare you let a porn star sully the Patriots jersey logo?
Jesus, they all did it. Look at what Amendola was doing. Edelman was doing it. Edelman was actually banging like everybody in like the South Boston.
I was gonna say Edelman was like banging bartenders.
He was banging.
If you were like a decently attractive bartender in Southie at some point during Edelman's tenure, you had a pretty good chance of getting laid. Remember the girl who got fired because she Snapchatted like just banged Edelman?
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, he just won the Super Bowl. That was like right after that he got the MVP.
Oh,
no, it wasn't. It was the Falcons game.
The Falcons game. Yeah.
He didn't get MVP for that, but she was like just banged Edelman and had a picture of him in her bed, and I was like,
he was just like passed out sleeping.
And then they fired her for it.
Yeah, they slut shamed her. They were like, how dare you? And Edelman was like,
Edelman was like,
he said
right,
nothing.
bitch.
Edelman was like, I mean,
right, bitch.
I didn't tell him to do it, but I'm
Insta-
not going to tell him not to do it.
He was banging Instagram models, and he got one pregnant, which was Giselle's friend, and all this other. Like,
no, she was another
Adriana Lima.
Adriana Lima, wasn't it?
No, he didn't get her pregnant. He was with her too.
Should have.
It was some other blonde chick that was like friends with Giselle.
That Culpo chick.
No, he didn't. That was Amendola. That was Amendola. And
She floats around.
Amendola's a mess because of that. He still talks about her.
Yeah, she's banging Christian McCaffrey now.
Yeah, that's bad.
Oh, that's right.
And Amendola hates Christian McCaffrey.
Really?
Well, I mean, wouldn't you?
I guess.
I mean, this goes back to my whole cuck analogy earlier with the Broncos. Like, maybe Danny Amendola is just like, well,
dude,
she only wants Christian McCaffrey because he's just like, he's a slightly younger, more in shape version of me, which I get. Joey, she'll come back.
Joey, if we did a who retires first list, Brady, Edelman, Gronk, Amendola, there was no way I was saying Amendola outlasts any of those men.
That's true. That's very true.
He was the most injured man of all time, and he's still playing.
Sean
Is he still
put
in
it.
Houston.
Miami?
No, he's in Houston.
Houston.
Oh, he's
Sean
in
put it
H-Town.
so
No shit.
perfectly when they
Haven't
traded for
heard of him in a
Amendola, and he
while.
goes, "Great, he's made of porcelain and popsicle sticks. What the fuck do I care?"
I mean,
I haven't heard of him in a while.
he did great. No, he tore it up this year. He had like 800 yards receiving or some shit like
No,
that.
shit, good for him.
the Dola
Um,
was doing the thing, bruh.
But I was blown away. Like when he was like he could never be the number one. When they hired him to be like the Welker replacement, I was like, it's never gonna happen. Ended up being Edelman, thank God. But Welker was phenomenal in the playoffs.
Yeah.
I mean, Amendola was phenomenal in the playoffs. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I mean, he caught that one pass from Edelman that time against Baltimore, and that was pretty much like.
No, he tore it up in the Jacksonville game for the AFC Championship game. It was him and Gronk. That was it.
Oh, you mean the game where
He was
Denver
down.
Broncos
He was
head
down.
coach Nathaniel Hackett was the offensive coordinator, making Blake Bortles look like a competent football quarterback? Yeah.
We can talk about that.
Yeah,
But we can get off the Brady thing, I guess.
Yeah, well,
Let us
we're
know
good with
what's
the Brady
called
thing. 774-992-8702. We're going to shelve the Brady thing for now. If you have any comments, questions, things you want, concerns, anything you want to voice about Brady, do you are you on Brady's side? Do you think are you slobbing his knob and saying, "Thank you, Tom, for such a great thing"? Or are you one of the people that's like, "Fuck you, Tom, for not thanking me personally. I demand a thank you note in my mailbox by next Tuesday"? Like, are you one of those people? Because there's a lot of those people. A lot more than we realize, apparently. So, yeah, give us a call if you want to talk about some Tom Brady shit. Other than that, we're going to move it along right here. Let's talk about Championship Sunday because there's a couple of angles. There's a lot of shit to get into here with these two games, and then we'll get into the coaching carousel, and then we'll wrap it up with a slight preview of the Super Bowl because we'll talk about that next week and the week after because we get 2 weeks.
2 weeks of prep.
Well, we got tonight and next Tuesday to talk about it, and
Yeah.
then the game. So, AFC Championship. Joe Burrow, the Bengals. Can you just hear the deafening silence that is Jackson Mahomes' TikTok page right now?
I don't know. I don't.
It's just it's so great.
Is he
Can you do you hear that? No, you don't. You know what that is? The sound of Brittany Mahomes' Twitter account. Just silenced in the middle of their hype train. Like just things are going on, bullet trains coming, then Joe Burrow's just like fuck out of here.
But
Thank
Cow on
God.
the tracks.
Um,
Yeet Amtrak.
I'm so glad that there's no Brady in the AFC anymore. There's no what's the best way to describe this? There's no of the old era. There's no Manning. There's no Big Ben. There's no Brady. There's no Phillip Rivers. There's none of the old guard of quarterbacks.
No, the old guard is officially done.
Patrick Mahomes is the new guard.
Brady and Roethlisberger were the last two of that
Yes,
that era.
six pack, and Eli was in there too.
Yeah.
But
well,
there's
Eli
no.
retired 2 years ago. So.
Yeah, but he was part of like that whole like pack of guys that kind of came in
Well, you had
together. And
Rivers, Ben, Eli,
Breeze.
Breeze, Brady, Manning, Rodgers, and Smith.
I guess you can lump. Yeah, you can lump Rodgers in there too. Rodgers still off.
Rodgers was 05. He was a year after.
But he's always been NFC. But still,
he's always been viewed as like the next generation after those guys for whatever reason. Like probably because he sat for 4 years behind Favre.
yeah.
No one really or 3
Right.
years. No one really gave him his due, if you will. So
Imagine though.
so now you've got the new guard coming in.
Patrick
And
Mahomes
this
is
is-
the new guard.
This is but the new guard really looks like this. Oh baby, that man is frigid. He looks like he could be a villain in Top Gun 2. Like this
Probably
kid, he should be. Like Joey Burrow. Look, you know who that is, Paul? That Joey Burrow needs to be cast as the villain in Days of Thunder 2, the sequel.
Oh, that'd be funny.
He's got to
Is
be.
that a thing?
He's gonna be like Russ Wheeler's nephew.
Yeah.
That's perfect. Perfect role for him.
Yeah.
Just ice the fuck out. Like, yeah, of course he's a real dude. I'm way too rich to not have these be fake.
Yeah.
Like, what a gangster ass answer that was in
But he's-
regards to his chain.
You know he's the first. He's the potential first quarterback ever to win a high school
Heisman?
championship,
National championship. and a
national
Super Bowl.
championship, Heisman, and possibly a Super Bowl. He will be the first person ever.
No, I think it was.
All
I think it was.
three.
I think it was Heisman, national championship, Super Bowl.
Yeah, but he won like a high school state championship or some shit. like
Right,
that,
but I
too.
think that. But no one's ever won the Heisman a national championship and a Super Bowl. No one's ever done
so
that.
he's even done more than that. That's incredible.
I just assume anybody who's an NFL quarterback has won a high school state championship at some point, because to get to the NFL, you probably had to be at least
Dominant.
the best player in like your area.
And how stupid is Ohio State for letting him go?
Pretty stupid.
He went straight from Ohio to LSU, right?
Yeah, he transferred
Yeah.
because
He's
he
like,
wasn't
get me the fuck out of here.
because he got buried on the depth chart, and he was just
Yeah.
like, "Fuck this, I'm out of here."
Yep.
So let's talk about the AC championship game. So
For real.
this game started off. Paul and I were watching it. We were sitting downstairs. Les Fantômes Fêtes.
Yeah.
We were just sitting down there, the two of us. It was great. We watched this every minute of this game, except for the last minute and 4 seconds of the first half, because Paul had to go drop off his dog, and I went outside to shovel.
His what?
His dog.
Oh, dog. I think you said daughter. I'm like, what?
Well,
I'm like,
also 6-1.
No, yeah, pretty much.
So we sat down and we watched every minute of these games. It started off, and it was just like you got that sickening feeling in your stomach watching the first half of that game. You're going, God fucking damn it.
oh, for sure.
The
KC
Chiefs
was just
the
picking 'em
Chiefs
apart.
are vibing. Mahomes is doing his little flippy dooey side army shit. Kelsey's running free. Tyreek Hill's running free. Jerick fucking McKinnon is just picking up chunks at a time, and
After
you're
not
like,
playing for years, it feels like.
and you're like, what in the hell? Like, what the fuck, Cincy? Like, come on, man.
Yep.
Like, you guys pulled off 2 great fucking games to get here, and this is how you're gonna do us now?
Yeah,
like,
I was
are you
pissed
serious?
Early. I remember being pissed early.
It felt like
and-
they wouldn't be within 20.
No, it felt like it was gonna be Chiefs the over and the Chiefs by a large amount.
Yeah.
And then you get to the second half. So 21-18. The second half comes up, and all the stats about the Chiefs when they're leading at halftime by X amount of points, and AFC Championship games, only one team has ever come back, from this, whatever, blah blah blah. Being the 06 Colts, it's not going to happen, and you're thinking, you're probably right, it's not going to happen. Joey Fats Radio, row 1, seat 1.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hello.
Oh, hello, sir.
This is your friendly neighborhood Falcons fan.
Yes, we actually. I'm so glad you chimed in. I think you just joined in the last couple of minutes, but we had some
did.
very high praise for the Atlanta Falcons about 20 minutes ago.
I don't know if it was so much as high praise as just really low expectations for everybody else.
Ooh, I like that.
Rob, you are going to be the division champs next year because
High as a fucking kite, but go
because
on.
every other team in the division has basically said we're out, we're all done. They're all Mark Cuban from Shark Tank. They're all like, and for this reason, I'm out.
Hey, look at first off, a couple points here. Look at our offensive line, and then look at our defense. So no, I will say this. Main point is why I called. I heard you guys talking about the games, I believe, from last week, and
Yes.
the Chiefs and stuff.
Yep.
If I've heard a lot of complaints about this Super Bowl is going to be whack and blah 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 blah, all that shit.
Gonna be what?
The Super Bowl is going to be what?
Whack.
Oh,
Whoa,
whack.
whoa,
Sucks.
no.
Not at all.
This Super Bowl is not going to be whack at all.
Dude, I've heard that from a lot of people at my job, and I'm like, are you fucking dumb?
What are they, Cowboys fans?
Yeah, that's because you got a lot of uneducated people who don't know who Joe Burrow is. They don't know who the Bengals are. They don't know what they're all about. And admittedly,
Listen.
not a lot of people did coming into this year. I mean, I had the Bengals, I think, as like an 8 or 9 win team coming into the season. Definitely didn't have them in the Super Bowl. But that's the people that are mad because
The Bungles.
they're just mad because they remember that Rams Chiefs Monday night game from like 3 years ago, and they're like, I went 54-51 because I don't know what football is.
Right. But I think the Rams will win strictly because of the pass rush that they have and the O-line that Cincy has.
Mm-hmm.
Joe Burrow's a stud.
Mhm.
Aaron Donald's going to go off. Von Miller's going to have a lot of pressure. It'll be a close game, but I'd be so happy to see Stafford win a championship, but I'd also be so happy to see the Bengals win a championship. I love seeing a team go into a championship game who hasn't won one and win. You know what I mean?
I mean, listen,
It's history.
I listened to a lot of the national shows this week because I was trying to get, a feel for what was going, like what they're, because I don't know. I'm not going to lie. I don't know a single Bengals fan. I've never met one.
No, neither do I. Except for that guy in Florida.
Oh, the guy in Florida. Right. The guy who was working the 7-Eleven in Florida. And you know what? I know that guy's not listening to this show, but shout out to that fucking guy. I told him good luck when they were going to that game with the Titans. And I said, I'm rooting for Joe Burrow, and he's the truth, and you guys are going to be great. And here they are. I hope that guy is riding on, cloud 10 right now. Fuck cloud 9.
I love how you made him the accent from, Bobby Boucher, water boy. Go Tigers.
Well, it's North Florida, dude. It's just kind of how they talk.
But he's a Cincinnati fan.
He's a Cincinnati fan in Florida, though. So I was listening to the national shows and a lot of stuff because I wanted to get my thumb on the pulse of what was going on. Man, there was grown men crying on the air, calling into shows this week, saying, "I've been waiting for this since since '88."
Yep.
And guys that were saying I went to bed that night in '88 as a 9-year-old kid, crying and hating Joe Montana and hating the 49ers, thinking okay, well we'll be back soon. We'll be back. We got a good team, and it's been this long.
It's been 40 years.
And the heartbreak and everything else that the Bengals fans have endured for this amount of time. So it's really, really easy for me to root for the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
I'm rooting more for the Rams strictly because of Von Miller, Aaron Donald, and Matt Stafford. Because I feel like Stafford deserves one. Aaron Donald definitely deserves one. I would love to see Vaughn get a second one. And, oh my God, lo and behold, look, Odell Beckham, he doesn't catch passes from Baker Mayfield anymore, and all of a sudden he looks like the Odell Beckham of 2016.
Yeah, he looks amazing.
And you're like, son of a bitch. Maybe it was the Browns and Baker that drove him crazy.
But let me jump in really quick. I would actually love, because you and Rob just nailed a bunch of great points. I feel like Joe Burrow is going to be massacred in the Super Bowl. He's going to get hit. But I also feel like Joe Burrow is going to be like Sylvester Stallone in Rocky. He's like, I didn't hear no bell. He's going to get up destroyed, like a black eye, busted lip.
Marsh or whatever, Randy Marsh.
Exactly. I
Hey,
didn't hear no bell.
I didn't hear no bell.
And I feel like that there's a distinct possibility. And I know you're the best. All right, I know Nick in the chat said it as well. Sean McVay, definitely galaxy brain dude, overthinks himself. This Bengals team has unbelievable heart. That's what they have.
It's talent, dude.
And the talent is meh. I mean, they have good star power. They have Go ahead.
I said on the offensive side, their weapons, their offensive line sucks. I mean, Lombardo gets sacked 9 times against Tennessee. I
will give it. There's one caveat to that though. That Tennessee front seven is one of the best we've seen in a long time. Just throwing that out there. I know 9 sacks is a lot. However, the Bengals offensive line is not great. However, let's not just throw it away because let's give some credit to the Tennessee Titans because the Chiefs didn't get there 9 times.
Yeah, but the Rams are better than the Titans. That's what I'm saying.
I don't know. No, not across the board.
Defensive line?
No. The Chiefs,
defensively,
they have Aaron Donald, and he's.
I said Rams.
Yeah, the Rams
Are better than the Titans.
No,
that's what I said.
Not across the board. No.
No. Defensive line, absolutely.
No, the Titans' defensive line. I'll take the Titans' defensive line. Aaron Donald is the only guy on the Rams that I would take over anybody on the Titans.
They got Leonard Floyd. They got Von Miller. They have a great linebacker.
Listen, man, I love Von Miller, but Von Miller is not Von Miller. This is not 2015.
I get it.
No, I know that, but I mean, they have the cornerbacks who can play.
Listen, I'm saying as a unit, sure, but that Tennessee front seven, put some fucking respect on their name. Especially that front four is nasty, front four. But anyway.
Sorry, Rob. Go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't mean to derail you guys there, but I had to get that. I just don't want people disrespecting the Titans front four like that.
No, they have a good front four.
I wasn't disrespecting them at all. If anything, it was they tried to force feed Henry in his first game back, and that's why they lost.
Well, yeah, I mean the Titans lost because they have Ryan Tannehill at quarterback, who's basically Derek Carr.
Stud.
Yeah, stud in week 13 on Monday Night Football, but don't ask me to do anything other than that.
Facts. I don't know.
Rob, go ahead. I'm sorry.
The people who think that the Super Bowl is going to be bunk because it's not the Bucs against the Pats or it's not Brady or it's not New England. It's like, dude, come on, you're going to see history. Like, as much as I don't like New England, and Tom Brady and all that stuff, seeing Philly win the Super Bowl, whatever year it was,
Fuck yeah.
16 or
2017.
18, whatever.
17, baby. Big Dick Nick.
It was just like, wow. Like you're seeing history. You are alive to watch history. Why is that a problem? Why are you complaining about that? Like that's what sports are.
Yeah, no, that's you look. The reason why people think that this game is going to be shit and they're like, oh, this sucks. It's because it's not Brady, Mahomes.
It's not main
It's
event games.
because it's not there. It's not the household names that they're accustomed to.
Right.
Because they didn't watch Joe Burrow all year. Okay, look, I got a pretty up close look at Joe Burrow and the Bengals when they came into Denver, and they put the Broncos away in a game that Denver's defense came out flying, and they were playing like their season was on the line because it was, and they played one of the best games they've played all year, and Joe Burrow was still able to bury him.
Yeah.
Okay, I mean Jamar Chase. I think he had one touchdown in that game, but for the most part, PS2 locked him down. Like there was that Bengals team has been born in fire.
Who's that Higgins dude? 85 is all tall.
T. Higgins.
Right? Yeah, T. Higgins. He
And
looked nice the other day.
I think
he was amazing
I
at
think the
Tennessee.
Bengals, if people really got to know the Bengals and watch the Bengals, they'd realize how much fun this team is. Joe Burrow is an easy guy to root for. Fun guy to
Hell
root
yeah.
for. Jamar Chase is unbelievable. Bitch fixin' Joe Mixon. One of the most underrated backs in the league. Easily a top 5 running back on any given
Easy.
Sunday. All right? And that's behind a offensive line, as we just talked about. Isn't that great?
Right.
So,
Right?
I mean,
Almost as bad as Atlanta.
listen, if the Bengals got, I'd say, better than a puncher's chance in this game
Yes, they do.
against the Rams, I'm still giving the edge to the Rams for all the reasons Rob just laid out.
Yes.
Because I do think that Von Miller and Aaron Donald will eventually find Joe Burrow, and it's not about when they find it's not about if they'll find about, but it's about when and what crucial situation. We saw it on Sunday in the NFC Championship when Aaron Donald found Jimmy Garoppolo, and oh no, Garoppolo showed his ugly face and just hung a ball up, and that was the game because Aaron Donald was in his lap. And I think that's going to be, large in part the story that we'll see in 2 weeks. That being said, I very much expect this game to come right down to the very end of the fourth quarter. I mean,
Now,
we've had 6 straight games go to overtime or be walk-offs at the gun or final possession games, all intense games. Why would I think this one's going to be any different?
You just touched on what I was going to bring up. The overtime rule.
Thank you
I'm
for bringing this up because I've been this is on my list of shit to talk about.
God, Rob.
This was something you posted it earlier in the week, and I might have liked it. Or I might have even said something about it. I can't remember. But it was like, I get it. All right, you get the ball first, you score a touchdown. Let the other team have a chance to score the touchdown. If they don't, game over.
No.
There's nothing else to be
Rob,
played.
Rob, let me ask you this. Name me one other sport where you can score on defense.
Where you can score on defense.
Mhm.
I mean, hockey would immediately turn into offense if you made a stop and made a play on
Exactly.
defense. Baseball, if you were to catch a pop fly and catch a runner trying to bang out home.
Can't score, though. You can gun down the runner, but you can't score. You can take a run off the board, but you can't score.
You can prevent.
Yeah, that's what defense does.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The NFL is unique. Football is unique in that regard, where it is the only sport where you can score on defense. So when I hear people talk about, and I'm glad you brought up the overtime thing, because when I hear people complaining 2 weeks ago about how both teams should have an opportunity to touch the ball in overtime, no,
I don't agree.
Absolutely not.
I don't agree at all. In fact, I'm of the OG crowd that thinks we should just bring back the straight up sudden death.
Yes.
I don't give a shit. You get 3 cheap first downs and a chip shot field goal, and that's your ticket to the Super Bowl. Well, okay.
Yes.
I'm sure there was probably a dozen or so plays I could have made in regulation that would have prevented this from happening, and
Right.
that would have been the end of it. But we didn't. Okay, so my biggest thing was this, and I got in an argument with a couple of people about the overtime rules because
Just a few.
people wanting both teams to touch the ball in overtime has got to be the most millennial beta,
I was just gonna say that.
fucking like participation trophy generation version of this sport I've ever seen. Because
okay. Oh, wait, hold on.
okay.
So why can they kick a field goal and then the other team they put points on the board, they score points, they put shit up.
I think it's, believe me, I think the game should be over. I think it's stupid. I don't like the rules as they are.
I agree too.
Okay, so you're talking to somebody who doesn't even like the rules the way they are now, let alone making them more quote unquote fair.
No, fuck
Listen,
that.
this is the NFL. This isn't Pop Warner, okay? These aren't 12, 13-year-old kids. This isn't even high school. There is no obligation. Why, and let me ask you this, Rob. Why on God's green earth should we have rewarded a team that couldn't stop another team from going 40 yards in 13 seconds with a bonus possession in overtime?
If the Bills got the ball first in OT, would they have scored a touchdown?
I don't know.
And
that's the way I love it. But wait, now Joey said his piece. I'm going to say mine because I read an interesting article from a former athlete, and he was like a nobody, but he's now like a sports analyst for some local team that he played for.
Nate Burleson.
It was not Nate Burleson. No, I know who Nate Burleson is. Nate Burleson is extremely opinionated. I don't know. I need to hear less from Nate Burleson, actually. This gentleman said, essentially, if you ask any current NFL player, the only people that'll say they want the rule changed is quarterbacks and wide receivers and tight ends or running backs.
Right.
That's the only people.
Defensive
players fucking hate the current rules, and they want the current rules to, like Joey said, to go back to field goal, wins it, done. That's how they want the game. That's how they want the game. That's old players, current players, former coaches, everybody. They all in agreement that have been in the game. They hate the current rules. Now, this person said, we shouldn't be blaming this generation of hyping up. Everyone should touch the ball first. The NFL has pushed you to think this subconsciously that, hey, we have fantasy football. It's more points for you. You want to see more offense. You want this. It's higher ratings. It's more scoring. They've pushed this agenda so much that now you're trained automatically to be like, yes, I need more of this. That's the answer.
Which is why I've done a complete 180 on fantasy sports. I used to love them. Now I loathe them.
Yeah,
I'm not really a big fan of fantasy anymore either.
I'd be okay with each team having a shot if, for example, Super Bowl Sunday, right? It goes into OT. Rams score first. They score a touchdown. Let's say just a big play, 75-yard bomb.
Okay.
Let's give that other team a chance to go 75.
Why?
No, you can't penalize the Rams for the Bengals' bad defense.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying? Like you can't penalize the other team.
Right,
for
because
bad
if I just hit the 75-yard home run because you couldn't figure out how to cover, you couldn't figure out how to keep a guy in front of you. Why is that my problem?
Right.
Why should I now have to trot my defense out there and say, all right, guys, go do the same. Make sure you don't do the same thing.
How many times do we have to do this? You
right.
know what
This
I mean?
isn't college. Like the college overtime rules are a fucking joke. It just no. The overtime rules as they stand right now, this is as much as I'm willing to give.
Same.
Where
because it's going to be ratings. If they get the extra 30 minutes on the time slot on CBS, or
right, but you got to remember too, Rob. The game's got to end at some point, and if you start implementing like this dual possession thing, I mean, think about it. How many overtime games did we see this year where the ball got kicked back and forth, and it was week 18, the final game of the season, Chargers and Raiders.
Yeah.
Both teams possessed the ball, 3-4 times in overtime? Yep. Okay, we got it. We saw it.
Yeah, but now you're playing to the whole okay, we can't kick a field goal. We got to score.
So Rob, let me ask you this: there's been 12 playoff games that have gone to overtime since they've put these new rules in.
Which was what
2011.
Yeah.
Tim Tebow was the first one. Okay, I just gave you I gave you part of the answer. How many of those 12 games, and you might have read this because I think I posted it, how many of those 12 games have been won by a team scoring on a touchdown on the first possession?
Oh, it's like 56% or something like that.
7 out of 12. So just barely 50%. So we're talking about 50% of the games get decided on that one. The other 50% get decided on a later possession. And that's in the playoffs where the game has to end. One of those games also included a double overtime game with the Broncos and the Ravens in 2012. So
fuck that game.
Basically what you're saying is that But the NFL wants parity, right? What's more parity than 50-50? That's perfect in the NFL's eyes. There's no reason to change it.
Right. So what's more parity than a team comes out and hits a 75-yard bomb, a quick slant to Demarius Thomas and take it to the crib? Why doesn't the other team have that chance to hit a 75-yard bomb?
Because they were the ones that put themselves down by 3 scores in the first half and had to force overtime to begin with.
Rob,
28-3.
Rob, I'm
28-3.
yeah,
James
no.
White's his knee was down at the ball didn't cross the plane. They still called it.
Yes, it
Why
is.
didn't they learn to get? Why didn't they get the call?
He 100% across the plane. Rob, I am going to give you another thing. If you don't understand the butterfly effect the changing of the rule causes too. You're thinking about it like, oh, it's fair, and it's not just you. It's just people in general. You're going to cause a butterfly effect because you have coaches now who understand the game and the nuances and the gray areas of the football game. Teams are going to stop playing to tie the game instead of playing to win the game. So instead of teams saying like, if we go for it here, you add more things to it.
That goes
Like,
back to defense.
say that again.
That goes back to defense.
Yes, but I'm trying to give you. I'm giving in to you. I'm giving in to the audience, saying, all right, we allow that. Everyone gets the ball once. Coaches would be like, fuck it, we'll just go for the field goal. We're both going to get the ball once, and we're definitely going to overtime. You're going to start seeing more games automatically go to overtime because teams are going to be less brave to do that.
Or they'll be more comfortable going to overtime knowing that there's going to be at least a chance for them to match or
How many times in a
win.
game do you see a blown coverage?
Not that many.
In the NFL?
This not like college, dude.
In a
where
game?
everything
Like
is
in an
tied.
actual game? I mean, I don't know. I can.
Like
You
Someone
see one
breaks
maybe every
tackle
3
and goal,
games,
they
2
get the
games.
Wait, how many did get capitalized on, or just how many in general?
Well, the only ones you know about are the ones that get capitalized
That's what
on.
that's what I'm saying.
Maybe one every other. I mean, you see maybe 1 a week, 2 a week
Out of all the games.
out of all 16 games or whatever games, however many games, 16 games.
Watch an Atlanta game, you'll see about at least.
Okay, well, we're not talking about the terrible secondaries in the league, but no, Rob, I appreciate you bringing it up though, because that was a big that was the thing I wanted to talk about, because I just think it's just such a beta cuck millennial participation trophy generation bullshit attitude to have. Like, why can't you go out and stop a guy? Like, what makes everybody just assume that team that wins the coin toss is going to go down and score a touchdown on the opening drive? Yeah, we saw Mahomes do it to Buffalo. Then we saw him throw an interception the very next week in exactly the same scenario.
Yep.
So if your sample size is 2,
There's your parity.
there's your parity, 50-50.
You're right. I can't debate it.
I know.
Right. Because when I watched that play, I was fucking jumping up and down. I was like, oh my
That's
god.
what I do,
wait,
Rob.
did I do this?
I'm right, and I'm right.
Rob,
Sometimes you're wrong.
exactly.
Yeah, but usually it turns out I was right. so.
Joey also parody, 50-50.
There's your parity. I was about to say.
Joey's also the parody, 50-50.
I am definitely batting better than 500. You can both go fuck yourselves.
I wasn't saying anything about what your
50,
track
51%
record is.
maybe.
You wouldn't say my track. You
No, I said I wasn't saying anything about it. I was just.
all right? I was gonna say you motherfucker. Of all the people.
Yeah, I know.
Rob, thanks for the call, bud. We appreciate it.
Love you guys. Take care. Have a good night.
All
right,
right,
buddy.
buddy. Later.
Later.
No, this overtime thing. This had my mind spinning because, you saw it on the morning after the Buffalo Chiefs game. Everybody was screaming for change the overtime rules. Change the overtime rules. Like, no. Why are we gonna? Because here's the thing, right? And this is how the NFL works. We saw the NFL. We saw what was his name? With the hyphenated last name, the DB from the Rams, that just truck sticked fucking what's his name from the Saints.
Can't think of his name anymore.
Fuck out of my way,
Murphy
going to the Super Bowl.
Bunting?
Murphy Bunting, thank you.
Murphy Bunting.
Murphy Bunting was just like, "Hi, Alvin Kamara. Fuck you, I'm going to the Super Bowl."
Was it Kamara?
Yeah.
I don't think it was Kamara.
Might not have been Kamara.
It was a
but
wide receiver. I think it was Callaway.
It might not have been, but whatever. It doesn't matter.
Marquise.
Next year they changed the fucking rule.
Right.
Okay? The overtime rules. When did what spurned? Does anybody remember the exact moment, the exact thing that spurned the overtime rule change? Does anyone remember?
Nope.
Why do I ever feel like it's like a Des Bryant thing?
774-992-8702. If you remember the exact reason why or what forced the NFL to finally say, okay, we're going to change these rules for overtime, please call in right now and tell me, because I don't know that anybody knows this, and they should know this because it's very, very, very important for context purposes.
It was Smith.
It was Smith. It's almost like, why did they change the rule that you can't go low on quarterbacks? Oh, because Tom Brady got hurt. No one was screaming to change the rule when Carson Wentz got chemotherapy in the wild card round against the Steelers. When Kimo von Oelhoffen did the exact same thing to Carson Palmer that Bernard Paula did to Tom Brady 3 years later.
It took me a big second. I was like, what?
Chemotherapy, chemo von I like
Yeah,
that.
it took me a
Carson
second.
Palmer got some chemotherapy. See you later, bitch. And John Kitna has to come in and try and win the game. And in the words of Joey Porter, John Kitna, that ain't it. But no, I'll tell you what the exact moment was when the NFL realized that they had to change the rules for overtime. It was the 2009 NFC Championship game in New Orleans with Brett Favre and the Vikings and the Saints.
Oh, my God, you're right. As soon as you said it, now I know.
Because they went down, the game went to overtime because Brett Favre couldn't help himself but throw a fucking interception late in the fourth quarter, deep in Saints territory, as he's been known to do. Jersey untucked, just out there. Ho, ho, ho. Can't wait to get me some painkillers, a Barks root beer, and a 21-year-old that looks like my wife. Wing! Oh, shit, that was the wrong team. Shuck 'em up. I love Brett Favre. Sorry, I'm not trying to shit on Brett Favre, but what the fuck, bro? I'm just still mad that they fucking lost that game because we could have had Manning versus Favre in the Super Bowl, and it would have been the fucking best thing ever. And instead, we ended up with goddamn Reggie Bush winning a Super Bowl. Like, fucking bullshit.
Careful.
So
Very, very, very touchy.
So that was the moment that they did it. That was the game that spurred the NFL. That finally said the NFL said, "Fuck." Brett Favre didn't even get a chance to touch the ball in overtime. Well, good. Brett Favre shouldn't have gotten a chance to touch the ball in overtime. You know why? Because he probably would have fucking thrown it straight into Tracy Porter's chest too, and he would have gone back the other way, and we would have had another goddamn game to ruin Brett Favre's legacy. Oh, look at that, another NFC Championship game. Brett Favre throws it away. So, maybe the rules at that point did Brett Favre a favor, and they didn't give Brett Favre a chance to touch the ball. Did anybody stop and think about that? No, they didn't. But I think of these things. That being said, that was the game that started this whole thing into motion. Since it's been, like I said, 12 playoff games have gone to overtime since that rule took effect. The very first time, if you remember it, so graciously explained to us by Jim Nantz just seconds before Tim Tebow hit Demaryius Thomas on one of the most gorgeous passes I've ever seen in my entire life.
Dope.
And he absolutely set the world on fire with 316 yards passing in that game because he needed 80 to get to that mark. And what did he do? He threw an 80-yard fucking touchdown, which now would have been a 75-yard touchdown. Imagine that. 311 yards instead of 316. That story doesn't even sound as good now.
No.
Now that story doesn't even fucking sound good. Because now Tim Tebow, now all these stupid rules, you bring the ball out to the 25 on touchbacks instead of the 20. And fucking offense. Fantasy football. Fuck fantasy football. Fuck your DFS. Fuck your fantasy team. I hate all of it. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to sports.
DraftKings and all
I mean, I get it. It makes billions of dollars, but why are we changing the goddamn rules of the game to cater to a bunch of fucking bug men sitting at home on their computers developing algorithms trying to figure out which third-string tight end is going to go off today?
And
money.
at this moment, when the NFL goes to commercial, I would just
Because money.
I would just like to say, now the NFL is on commercial, that this is brought to you by Caesar's Palace, who you can gamble online now in most states.
As of
know, it's
2009, I believe it was the first time where Vegas was allowed to actually start running ads for Vegas.
Mm-hmm.
You know, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas ads.
Yeah.
If you go back pre-2009, those ads were not allowed during NFL
You
games.
got the fucking NFL straight promoting this
Yes.
shit now.
They're
You're
like-
Now the
I'm
NFL
like, wow.
Now
really?
the NFL not
Like,
only
Not
promotes
mass.
it, they have a team there.
Right.
I mean, come on, man. Like,
The writing's
Listen,
on the wall, bro.
you're
It's-
now the only thing this is going to do is now you're going to start getting team. Mark Davis, this Dora the Explorer backpack.
It's fucking
on his
bold
way
cut.
on his way to the barbershop.
I'm the bag.
He looks
I'm
like
the
that.
bag,
He looks
I'm
like
the
that
bag.
shitty version of Rick from Rick and Morty with the bull.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Simple Rick.
Yeah.
So he's that was this whole shit has just gone so far off the rails. And I just don't understand these people that want both teams to be able to touch the ball in overtime. I don't get it. I get it. Okay, if you want it from a fan standpoint and you're saying, I want to be entertained, okay, that's fine.
Nah.
You're allowed to be selfish and you're allowed to think that. But no, we're not changing the rule for that. If you think, I saw somebody, I forget who it was in the comments, cited the ratings. The ratings would be better. No, they wouldn't. 47 million people watch the Chiefs and the Bills. 47 million.
How much more do you want?
Like, what are you going to get?
147 million.
What are you going to get? 47.5? Like, Jesus Christ! Like, no, no one was not watching that game because Josh Allen didn't get a chance. No one went to bed that night saying, you know what, I'm fucking done with the NFL until they change the overtime rules and both teams get a fair, equal chance. Even though one fucked up super hard by letting the other go 40 yards with 13 seconds left on the clock. Yeah. Until they give that shitbag team an opportunity, I'm not watching again. Nope, not happening.
I don't understand why people label it as a fair chance. They had a fair chance.
Yeah.
It's called the previous 60 fucking minutes that you just played.
Thank you.
You shouldn't have been there in the first place.
And in the words of Johnny Knoxville, those shouldn't count. I was intoxicated when I was running.
Yeah. You had your fucking fair chance. You had fucking 4 quarters to fucking not be in this position. You're in it.
Fuck
Guess
you,
what?
Nick.
Sucks.
Okay,
You
it
gotta
is
lose.
ruining the game. All right, y'all, all you Patriot fans love to sit here and be like, "Oh, fuck Roger Goodell." Man, I've been on the fuck Roger Goodell bandwagon since 2006.
Yeah, we came late. That's what she said.
Yeah, you're like all the liberals on like in the mainstream media now that are like, yeah. So anyway, like masks and vaccines, not exactly working. Sorry. Like, did you hear Charlemagne the God?
Fuck my eye.
His quote the other day, where he was like talking about Biden. He's like, man, where the fuck is Trump at? At least he fucking told us the truth. This old motherfucker just out here lying. Which, if you listen to Charlemagne the God, you know he's not exactly your routine conservative.
No,
definitely not. But the whole fairness aspect of it, it's not fair. I don't want to hear people bitch and whine about fair. This isn't a high school game. I have no interest in fairness in regards to the overtime rules. Look, if you really want to change the overtime rules or how it's determined who gets the ball or whatever, give the home team, you get the ball first. Or you get the choice.
That's not fair.
You get the choice. You can either get the ball or you can defer. What do you want to do? Just give it to the home team. There. Now we've removed entirely the whole it's just so stupid that it comes down to the flip of a coin.
Right.
We got that's gone.
Yeah, and you get 8 home games,
Great.
8 away games,
or
whatever.
Or not even that, but in the playoffs, if you're the higher seed and you get the home game, now it puts more emphasis on being the higher seed.
dude.
Now the 1 seed carries a little bit more weight because God forbid this game goes overtime.
Right.
At least you get to make the decision.
What about 2 weeks?
Done. There it is. I just fixed all the fucking NFL's problems. Why haven't they hired me yet? I don't even understand this. Why am I still sitting here in New Bedford, Massachusetts, shoveling 2 feet of snow when I could be at a high-rise apartment in New York City, in Manhattan, calling shots for the NFL, making us billions more dollars?
Also,
I don't know.
Also, the Bills fans 2 weeks ago said that the referee pocketed a coin and pulled out a double-sided coin in his other hand.
Oh,
shit.
Dude, there was a lot of people being like, he hesitated when he went to flip it. He went, yeet, and he like threw another coin that was double-sided. I was like, the people think, like, you go way down these conspiracy theories, like,
come on, man. I mean, we look, what was it? It was
It was what?
Thanksgiving, 1998. What was the official's name?
In 98? I don't remember.
With the Steelers and the Lions, and
And he fucked it up?
tails. They called heads.
Oh, fuck.
Phil Luckett. Phil Luckett.
Oh, yeah.
It was Phil Luckett.
I never would have got
We
the
were just
name.
talking about this,
Yeah.
like a little while
Fucking
ago.
Phil Luckett. And he was like, and the Steelers have called heads. They're like, no, we called tails. They called heads.
Yeah.
And it's just like, and the Lions are like, yeah, we want the ball. And they're like, and Jerome Bettis is like, dog, you heard us call tails. He's like, I didn't hear shit. I don't know what you're talking about,
Like,
bro.
it's loud.
He's like, that man just said fucking tails.
Yeah,
That's
we
all
were
I
just
heard.
talking about this game a little while
Yeah,
ago.
I mean, like, that's the kind of shit. Like, that was, like, blatant, over the top, and it was on film.
If that happened in social media days, they probably would have murdered that guy at his house.
I bet.
and someone would have video.
I still don't understand how they got away with that. It's like it's just only 1998. It's clearly on tape, on camera. Like they're doing the coin toss.
But there wasn't.
Dude, it's
You're
not
gonna
the
remember though.
same.
But think about it, dude. 1998.
Camera guy wasn't like, you want me to rewind this?
Dude, nobody has.
Should I back up and record over
Somebody
this?
step the fuck in.
Did somebody hit
Jesus.
Can someone in control hit the dump button real quick?
Dude,
What the fuck?
nobody had cell phones. There wasn't like internet coverage. People in the stands are like, "What's happening?" I don't know. I think he said one thing. Fuck it, just play. People had no idea. They were forced to watch the whole game.
Yeah.
They couldn't look down.
Right. Well, that's badass though, man. Imagine that.
Oh man, there was actually somebody. It was wild. There was a picture. I think it was of Pedro coming off the mound in Yankee Stadium in 03, and everybody flipping him off.
Yeah.
Not a single cell phone in sight.
No, it was before that.
It was what like I was like, wow,
Everyone had
what
flip phones.
what a beautiful thing. I would go back and flip
when
off Pedro.
everybody was engaged in the game, you know.
Yeah.
No,
it was nice.
It's changing so much. People are gonna have like those like armbands that have like a telephone, like a holographic image pop up soon. They go beep boop
Oh
beep boop
yeah.
beep boop.
Beep boop beep.
Yeah,
boop.
like you can wear it in the bath.
Yeah.
Like it's just like a bracelet and it just
Yeah.
projects on your arm. And
Yep.
you're like, hey, it's gonna scroll through Facebook on my arm.
Yeah.
And it's like I can still see you. Fuck you. Like, that's I don't know. That terrifies me, dude. I didn't realize
gonna happen.
I didn't realize Judge Dredd at the time was going to be a documentary. But
Dude,
here we are.
someone. Oh my god, I'm so crazy. You said Judge Dredd, Time Cop with Sylvester Stallone. Someone played it today, and they were like, they nailed this thing. Remember, when he's a police officer. He goes in, and everyone's like crazy about the environment, so they have to use the 3 shells. And then there's a punishment for cursing out loud in public places, and you get a ticket.
No, that was Judge Dredd.
No, that was not. That was the Time Cop with Sylvester Stallone and Wesley Snipes. Well, what movie was that called?
Oh no, that wasn't Judge Dredd. That was Demolition Man. Sorry.
Thank you, Demolition Man. Definitely was the
Demolition
movie.
Man.
Yeah.
Way in
that's
advance.
Wesley Snipes.
Like, it nailed
Like,
everything.
Wesley Snipes was the best villain ever.
The
in that.
only thing they got wrong, Taco Bell was the surviving food chain. They said everything else crashed. Like McDonald's, Burger King all went away. It was only Taco Bell was left.
I mean,
They're close.
Well,
shit.
They got 9 out of 10.
They still got $1.89 burritos and shit.
I was
They
gonna
might
say
lie.
when the market crashes and dollars are worth nothing, Taco Bell's gonna be the most affordable
Dude,
fast food place on the planet.
They let Wesley Snipes go after unfreeze him. They're like, he was unjustly like tried back then. That's different times now. And he's like, I'm still a serial killer. Like, I'm just gonna go kill a bunch of people.
As somebody who works in the prison system, Sean, I can assure you that is happening right now.
Yeah, I know.
You would be. I can't say anything names wise or even like hint at it, but just in my short time working in a prison, I have seen some people get released on because of COVID and things like that have absolutely no business being out in the streets, and they will end up back in prison 100%. And I only hope that they will end up back in prison for something nonviolent like robbing a liquor store and nobody gets killed.
Damn.
Still definitely be back. But 774-992-8702. Give us a call. We're talking overtime rules, which, again, fuck you. They're fine.
No. Screw this topic. We have so many.
We're talking Brady. We're talking AFC Championship.
Done.
I'm going back over the things we've already talked about.
No. Yeah. No. I think
So
I
we're going to
think
dive into the NFC Championship, and let's get down to that, because I have one interesting, maybe controversial take,
I do too.
semi-controversial, that could be in this, and then we'll give you a quick little spin around the coaching carousel, so I can sit here and gloat because my Broncos finally got it right.
Coaching
For the first time in 7 years, we got it right, and I couldn't be more excited. But
just fucked up after Coobs left.
Little bit of heat on Denver right now, though.
a little bit. Oh, right, yeah, we still got to get into the Brian
I
Flores
didn't
shit.
forget. I didn't
Okay,
forget.
all right. So, all right, let's speed through this NFC Championship thing. The Rams were down 17-7. The Niners, obviously, they're 6-0 against the Rams in their last 6 games. Sean McVay is completely owned by Kyle Shanahan.
Destroys
Kyle
him.
Shanahan is my guy, my boy, for obvious fucking reasons.
Amazing coach.
Love Kyle Shanahan. Wish we had hired him in Denver and then drafted Josh Allen.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough to replace your dad. You know what I mean?
But still, though, dude, that's
Yeah,
that's.
but the Broncos with Shanahan and Allen would be sick, though.
But now you're talking about family lineage in the NFL. That's all the NFL
Lineage,
is. It's
the
family.
I
loins.
know, but still.
Mike Shanahan's frothing
Maybe he didn't.
loins.
Maybe he didn't. Maybe he didn't
Birthed
want
Kyle
that.
Shanahan with his flat brim hat wearing, swag ass.
Like, I can't picture-
Kyle Shanahan looks like everybody I play softball with. Like, I love it.
Yeah.
I can't picture like one of Belichick's kids like becoming the next the Patriots coach, I'd be like, it doesn't feel right.
Bruh.
No.
If Steve Belichick becomes the new Patriots head coach, if he doesn't become the new Patriots head coach at some point, I don't even know what we're doing.
Yeah, I feel like he has to become the next head coach. It's like his birthright, you know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Belichick owns.
Sorry,
that
Rob
team.
fucked me up. I read his comment. I was totally thrown off. Sorry, but
Anyway, I'm reading that too, and
you said you had one controversial take.
So everybody wants to kill Jimmy G for that final interception.
Yes, it was
And
dog shit.
There was many times during that game where Garoppolo showed his face, and you're like, and you go, or as Adam Shine, the great Adam Shine puts it, Jesus, Jimmy, like just like you're scolding a child, like every time Garoppolo lets it go. Jesus, Jimmy, what are you doing? Which is what I assume Kyle Shanahan's saying, and I assume John Lynch is saying, and I assume Deebo Samuel is saying.
Yeah.
I mean,
Poor Deebo.
there is a lot of things that have happened. That isn't actually a fantastic stat if it's true, Nick. Shanahan has been outscored 53-0 in the fourth quarter of his last 3 playoff losses.
That sucks.
That's a bad hit. I mean, granted, Jimmy Garoppolo has been his quarterback for those 3. Jimmy Garoppolo will probably not be his quarterback in his next playoff loss.
No, they put him on the trading block today.
Yeah, like I said, he probably will not be the quarterback. So would not be surprised with Jimmy Garoppolo on the Colts.
No, don't fucking say that.
No,
I'll ride with fucking Wentz.
His
No, you
face.
don't. You rather have.
Oh my
Garoppolo.
goodness!
No,
his
fuck
face.
that.
He was so mad. He legitimately got so fucking
Yeah,
mad.
don't even fucking
Dude.
hint like that. I don't even want that.
Dude, Garoppolo, but with Reich would probably put him in like a good spot.
That was the most honest reaction I've seen out of Paul on the show in like 2 years.
We all know where Garoppolo's
No!
going. We know where he's going already. You know where he's going.
Tampa?
He's going to Tampa
Garoppolo is?
for sure.
Oh, he's gonna try and go fill his little
It's
lose
it's
up
just never.
ex-boyfriend
It's the,
shoes.
no, they hate each other.
Yeah, right. Garoppolo secretly wants to suck Brady's ass. We all know it. He's probably just
Suck his ass.
yeah.
Nah, Garoppolo wants to suck that fucking big-titted porn star's ass that he's already probably did.
I don't like
Was
Garoppolo.
it Asia? No.
I have no idea who that was.
Some chick with AIDS. Anyway, no.
She does. Wow. All right. While that clears the air,
That was not what I was expecting you were going to say.
here's my controversial take.
Oh, wait, I didn't even get to mine.
Oh, I thought you were gonna. Keep
No, I didn't even
laughing.
get to mine.
Oh, you can go.
My controversial take in this whole thing was, it was, 3rd and 13? You've got Aaron Donald wrestling you to the ground, like some crazed meth head gator wrestler. And Jimmy Garoppolo is sitting there going, all right, great. I can take this sack, and it's like 4th and 19, or I can throw it, hit my running back directly in the fucking hands, and maybe at least get into it with like a 4th and 10. And maybe we just got, 4th and not like 12 miles, just maybe only 5. And instead, his running back just like, doop, and it's like, I'm playing volleyball.
Yeah.
And
Was
just
this the last weird left-handed
Yeah.
throw that he made?
And he
Yeah.
hits his. I mean, granted, don't get me wrong. The throw came. It was a little sauce on it. It was a little bit. It was a little Mike Vicky. Okay, short range, high velocity, no touch,
Yeah.
that kind of thing. But what the fuck? Like, listen, I know everybody wants to kill Garoppolo for this game, and especially on that last pass. But that was not his fault. He hit his guy in the hands. At the worst, just knock it down. If you think you're going to get snuffed, knock it down.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's 3rd and 12. You're getting sacked. It's going to be 4th and 20. I get what Garoppolo was trying to do because Garoppolo's knowing, like, all right, 4th and 20, we basically got no chance. 4th and 10, I mean, listen, we can hit Deebo on a slant for 11, 12. Maybe he takes it to the house. You never know. I don't know. Maybe something else can happen. All he had to do was hit the receiver in the hands. He did. And the receiver couldn't corral it. So while Jimmy gets a bad rap for this game, as he should, he did not play well. And listen, I will say this. I don't think you'll ever win a championship with Jimmy Garoppolo as your starter. I just don't think he's that guy. He's like Ryan Tannehill, Derek Carr. Good, but he'll never get you there. And then the other I'll let you do that. That was my hot take. I don't want to steal yours just in case we have the same. We're sharing a brain here because I think we might be.
Maybe. I saw a lot of Bay reporters after the game say, way back, if you go all the way back to last year,
Mm-hmm.
if the 49ers draft Mac Jones at 3,
Hmm.
and you compare their stats side by side, Mac Jones comparably did better than Jimmy Garoppolo in the same situation.
Hmm.
So people are saying, if you have Mac Jones, who is very accurate, maybe you don't have a lot of those problems because Jimmy G had a lot of problems accuracy-wise in that game, in the last game. Sometimes I would text Joey and be like, what the fuck was that? And it was like 30 yards over everybody. The safety's like looking around like, did someone pass me? And there's nobody back there.
Well, just go back to the Super Bowl with Emmanuel Sanders. Emmanuel Sanders is like, I mean, dog, I'm fast, but damn.
Not that fast. But it was just like, and it made me think, and I was like, maybe. I mean, if they went back and they said, everyone said Mac was pro-ready right now. He can come in and start, as we all saw. If they didn't go with Trey, who has the higher upside, if they went with Mac, do they make the Super Bowl? Tough to say, because that defense did amazing.
The Niners' defense is incredible. That trio.
Warner,
we talked
love.
about we talked about the trio of linebackers last week. It's the best I've seen since 2005 when the Broncos had Ian Gold, DJ Williams, and Al Wilson. It's the best I've seen since the Legion of Boom, even like with those guys. That's a tough call because I don't know because I think we did lay out actually there was one of like the 3 or 4 places that Mac Jones could have gone,
And he was rumored to go 3 overall for
yeah,
months.
one of the
for
places
weeks.
that he could have gone where
shit.
he would have flourished and been what is every bit as good as he could have been
Shanahan.
was San Francisco,
Niners would have been good, yeah.
New England. And what was the? I think we had we said Kansas City, obviously knowing he wasn't going to Kansas City, they weren't taking the quarterback. But we thought like, okay, Andy Reid. We're looking at coaching. Like, all right, who could coach?
No,
this
we
guy
only
up?
said 2. We said Shanahan or Belichick, and that was pretty much it. They said if he goes anywhere else, he's fine.
I think we went with 3 just for round top 3.
Maybe Indy if he fell that far.
Indy. No, I don't think we even had Indy on there.
But I'm thinking of the
Good
the
roster, but I
quarterback.
think Indy was more of a veteran quarterback away than they were a rookie quarterback away. But yeah, you're right. Okay, so
Yeah,
anyway,
they had
we
Wentz, and I
won't
was like, pfft.
we won't sit here and lament on what we could have said 10 months,
Yes,
11
yes,
months
yes.
ago. But nonetheless, my other kind of take from this one was, are we going to blame the safety who dropped the gift that Matt Stafford threw in his hands as well?
Absolutely
I
not.
mean,
No,
because-
9 minutes left in the game. 9 minutes. That's a long time in the NFL.
yeah.
That's
yeah,
a
9
long
minutes is a
time.
Right,
long
but you
time.
get 9 minutes. You get that ball back. That's great field position. You're already in field goal range, I believe, at that point.
Dude, you got to have faith for Jimmy to drive you 40, 50 yards.
Because-
Jimmy couldn't do 10.
But that was 17-7. He throws that. He drops that interception. The very next play, Odell gets that reverse toe tap.
Sure.
Call it a heel tap on the
heel tap,
sideline.
yeah.
Plus the 15.
Sure.
Now the Rams
Yeah,
are
that's
moving.
right.
That's a big play in a big spot. You take that away, the Rams might not score. And now 17-7. At the least, you've taken 2 minutes off the clock.
It felt
That
like
is a big time drop. And I'm not trying to
Sure.
shit on the kid. What was it?
I don't remember.
Contavious Brown, Quanti Brown.
Quanti Brown.
I forget. It's something with a K and a canary, something like that. I forget.
Canary crackhead.
But nonetheless, that was a big time fucking.
Sure, it was right in the breadbasket, and
Yeah.
he dropped it.
Oh,
That
it
was
was
bad.
big. It was a
But
big
to
time
me,
play.
I was like, you know what? There was a lot of time off the
You're right,
clock.
there was a
It
l-
felt like the Rams were going to make a comeback anyway.
There was a lot of time, but man, that could have been one of those just kind of backbreakers where, like, if you're Matt Stafford, now all of a sudden you're like, oh no, like
Yeah.
I've done it. I
Also-
fucked us. Like,
Yeah, because even with 9 minutes, I still feel like the fastest 5 minutes in football is from like 9 to 4 minutes. Like that
Dude,
middle chunk of the quarter.
it just
goes,
right. It flies.
It goes so fast. You're like, oh fuck! It's like coming down to like 2 minute warning. Like,
right. All of a sudden,
quarter's
they're-
almost
all,
over.
all of a
like-
sudden, like the team's punting, and you're like, all right, they're punting. What do we got? 7-8 minutes left. You're like, oh fuck, 3.
Yeah, you're like,
What the
whoa,
fuck? Like,
yeah.
when the hell did this happen?
I feel like the fastest 5 minutes in football is that 9 to 4 minute mark.
Also, Sean
I agree.
McVay. Sean McVay, I don't know what the fuck he looks at for challenges.
Sean McVay had arguably the worst coaching performance of his professional career
He
on
is
Sunday,
shook with Shanahan.
and
Yeah.
he
You could tell.
he got bailed the fuck out by Matt Stafford
His team.
and Aaron Donald because that was one of the worst
Odell.
coaching performances I've ever seen from Sean McVay, and I think he'll be the first one to tell you that. again, I don't know if it was just because Shanny was in his head.
It is.
And like Shanahan's just like the big brother, but God help the Rams if Shanahan gets a quarterback. If Shanahan gets a quarterback in San Fran, they are going to run that division for the next decade.
They think they have it in Trey. Trey's young.
I'm not buying into Trey Lance yet. I don't think Trey Lance is the guy. But could you imagine if somehow, some way, by some fucking stroke of miracle,
No.
the Niners landed A-Rod?
Nope. I knew exactly what you said. If some miracle, I was like, this
And
no
A-Rod
way.
went to where he wanted to go his entire career anyway.
And he's all giddy with excitement.
He would
He's
just
like,
I
would not be excited.
I think he would go like 3 seasons undefeated. Like they wouldn't even lose a game. A-Rod, we would just see another A-Rod like just on a different level.
Yeah, but he's in the I don't give a shit mode. He'd go there.
He would win four Super Bowls just to make sure he at least tied Joe Montana.
He'd pass him.
And he'd be like, "Look, man, I won you 4 out of 4 Super Bowls. You could have had this for the last 15 years,
dumbass."
And then Alex Smith is just like, "Dude, what did I even do to you? Like, why?"
Alex Smith is like, I almost died.
I okay, cool. You're better than me. Fuck.
Yeah.
Like,
My
don't
leg's
care.
still healing. Jesus.
I get it.
He still can't walk
Damn.
right.
Oh.
Like, I didn't realize you were this mad.
Yeah,
774-992-8702. We're going to wrap it up here in a few minutes. But before we do that, let's do the B-Flow thing real quick.
Beat
Okay.
flow.
Because this is about as juicy as a juicy story gets right now.
Racism and shit. Yeah.
This is what 4 p.m., 5 p.m. today.
This broke like hours, not even just like a couple hours before we came on the show.
Yeah.
I was having conversations with a couple of my football confidants via telephone. We actually called each other to talk about this because it was that important.
Old.
And yeah, because we were like, no, this is too much to talk about through text. We got to call each other. And I was talking to a couple, and the first question that was posed was, what the fuck is Brian Flores thinking? Does he not want to work in the NFL ever again?
I still don't know
Because this
all
is
the
how you
facts.
don't work in the NFL ever
Dude,
again.
I'll take it back right now.
What's he doing? Ousted Matt? I didn't get all the facts. I
Sean,
didn't
you read most of the shit. I'll let Sean break it down.
I read a lot of the document, and actually I was starting to take a joke. I was like, I don't know if you're reading this, because the first thing that came out was he's suing the NFL over the Giants' hiring practices, and then they posted the whole not complaint, but they posted the whole
affidavit
online.
Deposition.
Yeah.
The transcripts.
I'm on page 5 of just like skimming through it, and all of a sudden I see the Dolphins stuff, and I'm like,
An affidavit.
whatever. I seen like page 5 or page 6, and I'm like,
Legal terms.
I'm like, are you seeing this shit? Because I'm like, this is really damning to the Dolphins. Like, the Dolphins could be some serious shit here.
Yeah, they would tell him to throw games and shit.
Yeah.
like-
So what was your question before I go into like great detail?
So I want to know. All right, so Brian Flores is pissed off that he didn't get the head coaching job at the Giants because, hold on, Belichick already knew. Everybody already knew that he wasn't going to get it for whatever reason.
Yes.
So he was the last one to find out that he wasn't getting it for X whatever reason.
So-
and now he's just ousting.
No. Flores is saying like, and he came out and said it in like a statement after this all came out. He says he was too good and waited too long to be looked over because of racist practices in the NFL that go unlooked. And first things first, Belichick first I'm going to tell this fucking hilarious Belichick story.
This
Belichick
is fucking great.
Belichick is either you think he's a genius or he's an idiot with technology. There's no it's very polarizing. He has Brian in his phone. Not Brian Dayball, not Brian Flores, just Brian. And he just texts, "Congrats on the job. Like I heard Buffalo and the Giants want you. Like congrats on getting the job." And Flores goes, "Thanks, coach." Like, by the way, this is Brian Flores,
My
right?
interview's
By the
not
way,
till
I haven't
next
had
week.
my interview yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'm interviewing next Thursday. Like, what do you hear? And Belichick's like, "I'm gonna keep it real with you. I fucked all this up.
Fuck.
I thought this was Brian Dayball. My bad."
Yeah.
And that's essentially what the text message says. And he goes from thanks coach to thanks Bill real fast.
Yeah.
So he just goes like, "Oh, they've already had their coach. They're just bringing me in for a number." So
Right.
first of all,
Because they had to satisfy the Rooney Rule.
they'd
Right.
already satisfied it.
Oh.
But it's still a bad look because they were just bringing him in because they said, "Oh no, you have." They told him he has a legitimate shot to land the job when that was completely
Okay,
full,
but that's
full of shit.
that might not be totally full of shit because A, if he goes in there and blows the door off him doors off in the interview, they might sit there and you know what? They could rescind there's no official offer yet. You're hearing Brian Daboll's got the job, which he did.
No, and the thing, it's more. It says that it was already agreed upon, like verbally, between Daboll and the Giants.
Right, but you kind of so from what I've gathered in how head coaches get hired.
Yes.
Part of the interview process is a number, a year's and a dollar number that is like, okay, if we were to hire you, what would it? So there could have been like a
wink and a nod.
Yeah, wink and a nod. Like we already know what you're asking. We already agreed that we're gonna pay you that.
Yep.
We're still gonna interview other people because who knows? Maybe Brian Flores comes in, blows the doors off of us in this interview, and asks for $10 million less. And in which case, we reserve the right to rescind this offer that we officially haven't made yet, I guess. So, bad business practice, but not bad business practice, if you know what I mean.
Right. Then the Miami stuff really opens my eyes when he says the owner, Stephen Ross, brings him in privately.
This
and says,
is the shit that I'm more interested to see how this turns out.
And then there's one small Denver nugget, but that's like a throwaway thing to me.
It's just hilarious.
Because it was just like, you can't prove that. That's hearsay, and it's a one-off. No one was recording anything. The Miami stuff, Stephen Ross brings him to have like a private meeting, like on a boat or
on a yacht,
whatever it is.
Yacht.
The yacht is twice. The yacht's one for Brady, and the other is for this. So Ross brings him in and says, hey, I need you to start losing the rest of these games. Every game you lose and purposely lose and throw, I'm going to give you $100,000. And Flores says, no. Flores' forward thing is being like, if I start losing these games, they're going to just fucking fire me. And then I'm going to be looked at as a joke and my career is going to be over. So he says, I'm not doing that. And then wins enough games for Miami to get the 5th pick in the draft that year. So fucking infuriated Greer, the general manager, and Ross. So they hated him from that day.
Right.
The offseason of 2020, it's an unknown free agent available quarterback was available, and they brought in, and this was already ousted already because a local Miami radio team said they had intelligence, and they said this 2 years ago, that Brady was flown out to meet with Ross in Miami, but it was before the agreement of like tampering. But Brady was already gone anyway. But it was before the legal tampering period. It was even before
so
that.
this would still be considered tampering.
So they asked Flores to meet him, and Flores was like, yeah, sure, I'll go meet you. And Ross says to him, and he says verbatim, like, oh, I'm having a quarterback come in so you guys can sit together and talk. And Flores is like, I'm not talking to him. Like, this is before the tampering period. We're going to get fucked. Like, I'm out of here.
Right.
And he left, and Ross was pissed. So Ross had the meeting personally with Brady, essentially, himself. What Flores had done, if you take away, I'll get to the Denver stuff in a minute. If you take away the Giants stuff, you take away the Denver stuff. What he essentially had done is said the Dolphins have shown a history of trying to cheat the system to gain some kind of popularity or momentum or whatever like that. Like they did tampering legally. They flew guys in, and you can have all this trace because you can just go get records of all this stuff too.
Yeah.
And essentially, you're paying for a team to throw games. An owner's paying a team to throw games, which is crazy wrong and crazy illegal in every handbook for every team in any sport ever.
I mean, Pete Rose got barred from the Baseball Hall of Fame for less.
Right.
Essentially, Miami could get some kind of insane penalty where they could get like millions of dollars in fines.
We could be talking about
and
a
multiple
death
picks.
penalty for Miami, the likes of which the NCAA would blush.
They could suspend Ross for like a year or two or even more, or like a permanent ban.
They could force him to sell the team.
If the media gets like, and again, I've had this argument with several people online now who don't understand the NFL. They're like, it's going to court. You need the court. I'm like, no, you do not need the fucking court system.
If 31 other owners and Roger Goodell say you need to sell the team, that's the only court that matters.
Right.
That's the only thing that matters. You do not need the court. People are like,
1,000% right.
People are like, you need the court to prove it. No, the Patriots, the Saints, the Jets, all those cases have never. It just comes on media and it comes on how.
Do they not remember how the Clippers got sold?
Yes, I don't understand why people don't understand this. People are just like, well, the court's gonna obviously prove it as just hearsay, and I'm like, they don't care about the fucking court.
Right.
It's about public perception in the media. If the media is loud enough and creates enough of a stir, the NFL says,
we got to do something.
We're gonna have to kill you off.
And it doesn't matter what the court says. If the NFL deems that if your actions are brought to light, and the NFL deems that, holy shit, we've got an owner bribing a coach to throw games
coach on top of it, which is very important.
to get a better draft pick. holy fuck, we've got a team in Vegas. We've got Caesars Sportsbook and, advertising with us. All the shit we talked about earlier.
Right.
Now you want to tell me that you got owners telling guys to throw games?
Right.
This is a huge blow to the NFL for the credibility of the league. Every call, every whistle, every play, every questionable coaching decision.
No integrity.
Is going to just be completely undermined.
Potentially $700,000 he would have received because it was 7 games left. Dude,
I would have kept my integrity intact and said fuck him too.
Dude, there are people on Twitter. People on Twitter have been like, "Yo, this guy's hurt. He can't play this week." They're like, "For $100,000 a week, they're like, this guy's dead."
But at what point? What was his contract as a coach?
They would have fired him.
No. But what was his? What he already earned at that point?
Oh, he's a weak they don't state coaches' salaries.
No, but if you're
a new coach, it's like $1 million or $2
million or $2 a year
tops.
So he probably
almost double his salary.
3-4 million at that point as a coach, and he probably earned a couple, some pretty good bucks. But you've got to know, in that circle of coaches and owners, if Stephen Ross buys you off and says throw these games, you do. What other owner in the NFL is going to hire you at that point?
Exactly.
Right.
Because not only, okay, cool, you did the owner's bidding. You're fucking weak.
Mm-hmm.
You bent over and you sacrificed your integrity and potentially your career for $700,000.
Right.
That's all it was worth to you? All right. Okay. Yeah. Next.
Yep. And that ruins his
Actually,
career.
you know what? I'm going to bring you in to satisfy my Rooney Rule quota.
And then, not to forget the Denver thing, it was
This was hilarious.
This was a meeting at the Providence Hotel, which is directly across from the Providence Place Mall. Everyone knows the hotel. It's a very nice hotel. The Denver Broncos front office was going to meet him there at 7:30 a.m., fucking very early. And Flores said that he felt they were intoxicated and disheveled the whole meeting. But Denver came out and said, we brought tons of work with him. We had an extensive background search on him. We knew everything he was going to do. We had all these questions for him. If he thinks we're alcoholics, he thinks we're alcoholics, but we weren't drunk. You know what? But that's like a throwaway one. That one means absolutely nothing to me because you're like, well, John Elway's an alcoholic, and John Elway's probably like, yeah, I am.
Yeah.
John was
shit.
like, yeah, bro.
I was drinking
Do you have
booze,
any idea
brother.
how bad my knees hurt on a daily basis?
It's
He's
7:30
like,
a.m.
The fucking cloud went over the sun. My knees are killing me.
I'm disheveled at 7:30 a.m. and I've already been up for an hour and a half. It sucks. That's just the way it is.
I don't remember the last time I was awake at 7:30 a.m.
Fuck
Oh
you.
wait, yes I do. It's every day on my way home from work. But
there you go.
I'm on the other end of that shit. So
Still, it's
Yeah.
still what I mean. I mean, that to me was and everyone's like, oh, that's damning. I'm like, no, no one cares if John Elway is drinking
no one
at
gives
7
a
a.m.
flying fuck
I don't
about
give a
the
shit.
The Broncos aren't going to be implicated in anything in that. I mean,
And on top of it,
if
the
anything,
Broncos just had a black coach recently.
If-
I'm sorry.
Yeah, they did.
That's very important.
On the screen. Sorry.
Sergio Dip.
Poor bastard.
And then on the day of 9/11, I get made fun of for being retarded. You're like, well,
And why is this guy Russian now?
You're like, well, that's kind of how that works, Serge.
Yeah.
All right, bro.
Serge.
Okay. So, but no, that the whole Denver thing was fucking hilarious. The only reason I could see that being potentially a big deal down the road is because Elway is involved with a group that is potentially trying to buy the Broncos.
Which? Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I'm just saying it could be a black eye on that ownership group.
Went on sale today, and the asking price was brought up by Darren Ravel, of course, because he's always involved in this shit. He said the first number begins with a 4.
I'll say 4.1, I think.
Well, they're going to ask for at least $4 billion.
Yeah, I think 4.1
billion.
was like the general asking price.
Again, that does not sound like a lot. I mean, $4 billion obviously is a lot of money. $4 billion does not sound like a lot for an NFL franchise that's been around for ages.
Yeah, since the 60s.
I mean, that's kind of a lot of fucking.
But
No,
when
it's
you think-
not. No, it's
But
not.
when you factor in when you think about that, Pat Bowlen bought that team for what, 180 million,
Yes. Yeah.
and it's now worth $4 billion.
Yeah, true. I
Paul.
mean, the growth, obvious.
Sheesh.
Paul,
Great investment.
here's just weird things. Disney bought Marvel, the vault from Marvel, for $4 billion. Disney has earned over $1 trillion in revenue since
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
$1 trillion
Yeah.
for just buying Marvel. That's nothing to big people. That's like an investment
and this is
for the
why
future.
the
Right.
NFL is going to have to eventually break into the Chinese market because they need more people.
Imagine if Denver sold to the Chinese market, and you'd have to come in here wearing like the red flag behind you and shit like that.
I would come in with. I mean, I'd probably come in with the hammer and sickle on my chest, and
John Cena. Show you that video.
I'd be Joey Jai Fats
Yes.
now, like with an
Joey
XI.
Jai Fat.
Like, yeah, I'm now Joey Jai Fats.
Joey Jai Ping.
LeBron James is now my new favorite person, not just basketball player. Me,
man.
Steve, me, him, Steve Kerr,
It would never
Paul
happen.
Popovich.
But that
We
would
all
be,
we are we're all gonna be palling around.
that'd
now.
be very, very, very funny.
4.1 bill, huh?
4.1 billion, dude. Think about that.
That's
for
the
1
starting
second.
price.
Yeah, that'll. Yeah.
Well, that's why Peyton Manning kind of laughed at everybody when they were like, "Well, you should buy the Broncos." And he's like, "With what money?"
It's like me and
Right.
18 other millionaires.
He's like, "Listen, dude." He's like, "I love where your head's at. I love where you like."
Yeah.
But
no.
no, that's like he's like, I don't have $4
they-
billion laying around.
are they going
The
to give
fuck's
me a
wrong with you?
hometown discount? Like, is
Yeah,
that how that works?
seriously.
I know, right?
Are they going to give me a discount on the team? Because this is goddamn fucking ridiculous. But that's why there's two ownership groups, one that features Peyton Manning, one that features John Elway. I would love for Matt and Trey to get in on
No
this.
way.
On this, the eve of the 25th season of South Park, by the way.
There's no way.
I don't think there's any way.
No.
They just bought Casa Bonita, and that's pretty big. That's a pretty big deal for them.
Dude,
So
that's
Oh, that's a real thing.
Casa Bonita is a real restaurant in
Yeah.
Denver, yeah.
Oh.
And it was
That's why it was on the
it
show.
went out of business.
Oh.
It went out of business, and it was gonna be gone forever. And Matt and Trey bought it.
They bought it
to
for the
revive
jokes.
it.
Just for the
No,
for the jokes.
no, they bought it to revive it because they were like, well, no, we loved going there as kids, and we thought it was awesome, so we bought it so we can revive it.
And they're gonna just fuck with it and you just make jokes of it
I
all
mean,
the time too.
It's fucking brilliant.
They're
so
probably gonna
fucking
make fun
funny
of the
as
old
shit.
owner, like, oh, those guys are cracking.
I mean,
Yeah, I know.
I
right?
am 110% going to Casa Bonita next time I go to Denver.
Yeah, if I'm ever in town, I
Casa
would.
Casa Bonita. Casa Bonita.
Yeah, I
And
would.
And then, lastly, before we get off, can we please talk about how my hero is gone?
All right, yeah. So let's spin this coaching carousel real quick.
I'm so happy.
Josh McDaniels going to the Raiders was the second most happy. That was the second happiest I've been in terms of a coach being hired this offseason.
Same.
The only thing that made me happier was Nathaniel Hackett being hired by the Denver Broncos, who, if you don't know who Nathaniel Hackett is, he was the Packers offensive coordinator. Okay, he was the offensive coordinator under Doug Marrone. Under Doug Marrone in Jacksonville when Blake Bortles was good. When Blake Bortles looked like he knew how to complete a forward pass, that was Nathaniel Hackett. All right, he was the quarterbacks coach for Blake Bortles when Blake threw 35 touchdowns that one year in Jacksonville. Okay, he's been an OC at Syracuse. He's been around. Nate has been around, bro. This is the guy that Denver has needed. This is the guy we've been searching for. Look, I loved Vic as a defensive mind. He was a great guy, a player's coach. The players really loved him. He was never going to win us a Super Bowl. That being said, Nathaniel Hackett coming to Denver made me so happy. I think I said it on this show. I think it was just you and I that was a couple weeks ago. And I said my dream scenario was Nathaniel Hackett, head coach, Zimmer, the Vikings head coach.
He wants to go to OC?
No, as a defensive coordinator.
Oh, okay. I was like, wait a minute.
And then we brought in either the Packers, and then the Packers quarterbacks coach as offense coordinator, but that's ship sailed because he's now been promoted to the Packers OC.
I mean, it just screams to me that this all makes sense for it to be just prepping for Rodgers.
Also, you have the caveat of now Aaron Rodgers can come to an offense that he already knows
Yep.
inside and out.
Young offense.
He's going to get a great offensive line. He's got a Pro Bowl running back in Javonte Williams. He's got Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, KJ Hamler coming back, Noah Fant.
Probably Devontae Adams
And
to go with him.
Denver definitely has the cap space to absorb Devontae Adams if they so wanted him, which not thrilled with that idea
Why not?
because I really just don't feel like you need to spend that much money. You know me and wide receivers.
I know.
It's just
I know.
something I don't
But
value
you're-
that much.
You're making your quarterback happy.
But my point was this: is if say you do get Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams coming over gives him that security blanket for those first 6-7 weeks,
Yep.
where we usually see those like growing pains
Hiccups.
for guys getting on the same page.
For sure.
He gives him that security blanket, so we could just roll.
Absolutely.
Roll. So Aaron Rodgers.
Seems like a no-brainer.
Aaron Rodgers seems like it seems like it's gonna happen. It almost happened last year. Aaron Rodgers said it was either San Fran or Denver last year. It was Denver. It screamed Denver. It's probably going to be Denver this year.
Mm-hmm.
And they're probably going to grab Devontae Adams. And the Denver Broncos are going to go 16-1 in the regular season, and they're going to win the Super Bowl next year.
16-1. No
16-1.
hiccups. No hiccups whatsoever. He's like,
No,
this is going to be the Brady Tampa year. Comes right in and wins it all.
I think they'll fuck up like week 2. You know, it'll be like week 2 on the road, like at San Diego or the Chargers or whatever.
Right, some divisional game.
And it'll just be like some bullshit thing, like Aaron, like they, they have one of those games, and then Aaron Rodgers will just steamroll for the rest of the year, and they'll rip off 15 straight or 18 at that point because they'll win the Super Bowl.
No, I got where you're going with that. I'm just ignoring you.
So that'll be nice. And then the second happiest I've been in terms of coaching hire was Josh McDaniels of the Raiders. Mother of fucking God. This, I swear to God, dude, this has been the greatest week of ever to be me. Like, the Broncos hire the guy I wanted for a head coach. The Chiefs lose the AFC championship game. Tom Brady retires. And then the Raiders just put a little cherry on top. And they're like, hey, you know what? We're going to hire Josh McDaniels as our next head coach. Like, oh, my God. My cup runneth over. How fortunate. Like, the only thing that would be better is if LeBron and AD both came out and they were like, we've both been granted a completely clean bill of health. And,
It's over.
it's over. And we're like, oh, and by the way, we traded Russell Westbrook for a bag of cotton candy and Rajon Rondo. Oh, great. Cool. So we're winning a championship is what you're saying. Yeah, by a mile. Sweet, dude. Awesome. That's about the only way this week could fucking get better for me.
Yeah.
That's it. Because Josh McDaniels going to the Raiders, and I went on the Raiders Reddit forum.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my God, what a bastion of comedy gold.
I don't-
Unbelievable. These people, these Raiders fans
What are they
are
thinking?
doing I mean, you want to talk about mental gymnastics.
Yes.
You should read. You want to have a fucking hoot? Go on our Raiders and just read the shit about the Josh McDaniels hire that these people are posting. Well, he only came here because he wanted Derek Carr because, now think about how good our offense is going to be, and we're going to be able to run more play action with Josh McDaniels. And here's this article from 2007 how Josh McDaniels was actually the main brainchild behind the offense in 07 with Brady and Moss. And, oh, my God, we're getting that. I'm like, have you guys completely fucking forgot that this man had a head coaching job in Denver? He was horrid. He got fired for cheating, literally got fired because he was taping the 49ers fucking practice in Wembley Stadium. Went to the Rams, got fired, went back to the Patriots.
Did great.
Did what he
Under
did.
Brady.
Then he went and got hired by the Colts, and they were like, we've hired Josh McDaniels. And he was like, they've hired Josh McDaniels. I'm going to be a Colt. 8 hours later. Just kidding.
Never mind.
It's like, but Josh, we've already inked your entire staff. Like, your boy Eberflus that went to the Bears to be the head coach, that was a Josh McDaniels hire. He was supposed to be under Josh McDaniels. Josh McDaniels brought him in to be his defensive coordinator. Frank Reich was just like, yeah, man. Well, and the Colts did the right thing. They were like, well, we're going to honor the contracts of all the guys that are here. We'll bring a head coach in that can work with everybody.
Right.
Frank Reich happened to be the guy. And the Colts are obviously better for it because, goddamn, dude, I have a feeling like I pray to God that Josh McDaniels gets in the building in Vegas and he's like, all right, first order of business, let's trade away Darren Waller and Derek Carr. I'm going to need, let's see, Case Keenum. No, you know what? Kirk Cousins will be fine.
I was going to say Kirk Cousins available.
We'll take Kirk Cousins, and in return for Darren Waller, I will take, I don't know, name me your whitest tight end.
Actually, Jimmy G's going to be available, and he knows Jimmy G.
He does.
Let me just go on this mild rant.
Go right ahead, sir.
I can't believe what a two-faced bastard Josh McDaniels is.
Right?
Because
Wait,
for
you
years, he said while Brady was here and he came back, like, he wanted to focus. He wanted to go to a team with a steady, I can't remember the exact words, but like a stable front office was the exact terms. And then he wanted to coach up a young quarterback as his next guy. He leaves New England, where he finally gets a young quarterback someone that he helped pick. He picked Mac Jones, and he's like, yeah, I think he's going to be great. I think he's going to be good. You have that guy. You have a stable front office. Belichick, closer to the end than the beginning, like he's not got that much longer. You're likely going to inherit the team if you still stay here. And Josh is like, I'm going to head to a team where the owner might be Chucky, and the quarterback.
He definitely wears the Dora the Explorer backpack.
The quarterback, I'm going to hate his guts, and he's going to leave, and he's old already. He's older already.
Backpack.
Completely 180s everything he's ever asked for.
We're going to get the audio for that next time.
And then he goes to a division where he has to face Mahomes twice, Herbert twice, and possibly Aaron Rodgers twice a year. With that team, he is going to fucking blow.
Yeah.
And then he's going to be back in New England in 3 years, and Belichick's going to be like, all right, I'm washing up now. And then he's going to be our coach, and then I'm going to blow my brains out. Because I can already see this 3 years in the future. First of all, day one, when they hired Josh McDaniels, Waller, Josh Jacobs, and I think an offensive lineman of the Raiders tweeted out like they were upset. Like emojis of like, okay.
They wanted Bisaccia.
They wanted him. They wanted the guy who had like rallied them, got them to the playoffs, was ballsy enough to make that call against the Chargers.
And I'm not going to lie, I definitely would have been completely fine with the Raiders keeping Bisaccia on board as the head coach. 'Cause I thought that was totally the wrong move
Yeah.
for the franchise. I was completely fine with that. I was like, when the Raiders made the playoffs, I was like, perfect. Because that's just good enough for them to have to keep Bisaccia on.
Yeah.
And I don't think he's ready to be a head coach yet. I think he's a great coach. Phenomenal. I mean, everything I've read about this guy is just, he is unbelievable. And he will get his due in
time.
in time.
He's like an Arians.
Yeah, but he is one of those guys that guys will run through a wall for, and I appreciate him as a coach. But I was also sitting there going, great, this is perfect. You got Derek Carr in the last year of his contract. Bisaccia is gonna come in. He's got no GM, no defense. They got shit players all over the place, and they're gonna go out there and it's gonna blow up in their face. No fault of Bisaccia's, but it's a bad situation. And maybe looking back at it in hindsight, Rich Bisaccia is going to go, thank God I didn't get this job. Thank God I was not hired for this because it would have submarined my whole career going forward. That being said, Josh McDaniels to Oakland, oh my God.
I will say, I am very upset about losing Ziegler. He is a phenomenal college assessor for players. Like the guys that he's wanted have been incredible.
I cannot wait for him to misassess every single person he drafts, just like everybody else who's left the Patriots. It was like
God.
They're all great in New England for whatever reason. Then they go out on their own. I mean, I think like Scott Pioli was probably the only guy that did like a reasonably good job.
No, Dimitrioff when he went to Atlanta before he was fired. He put together that 16 team basically all himself besides Matt Jones.
Matt Ryan.
I mean, he put together a lot of that team, and then they fired him like a year later.
Yeah, no, he had some decent success. But again, 1 year flare-ups. I mean, it's easy to build a team. No, I'm not going to say, hold on, let me rephrase that. It's one thing to build a team that has one good year. It's another thing to build a team that's competitive year in, year out.
Nobody has won a championship or nobody's won a Super Bowl. Only one has won a championship, and that was Dimitrioff, the NFC Championship. Nobody else has come close.
No.
And there's been like 8 guys that have left the front office.
And if you
but
think
I like Ziegler.
If you think, listen, you can like them all you want, but if you think Ziegler and McDaniels are the answer in Vegas,
no,
ain't happening, brother.
And I know Durant didn't
Ain't
call
happening.
in. I know Durant didn't call in, but Durant, if you were listening, that is a shit hire. Yeah, his team's gonna be bad for at least the whole time he's there.
I mean, look. The only reason why Denver wasn't set back a full decade by what McDaniels did was because they hired Elway, and Elway hired Fox, and Elway got Peyton Manning. If you don't bring in John Elway to mop up the mess that Josh McDaniels left, if Elway hadn't been ready for that position at that time, the Broncos would we be on 15 years now of garbage shit, dude.
Yeah.
Like whatever, like no.
Biggest thing is McDaniels. If
Not
he,
15, but like 11.
yeah, I know what you mean. But if McDaniels ran like a run on first down and the guy got 0 yards, he's like, fuck it, punt. Like he does another run up the middle, a swing pass. Swing pass has really pissed me off all year. Of like, there you go, HP toss, and the guy would get stuffed. Like,
See, I was telling Paul, I want people to start running the halfback toss more. That's one of my favorite plays in football.
We got murdered this year.
I know you got to block it up right though. That's the thing. Like you do got to get him right. So.
We had a good offensive line this year, and we still couldn't get it done. he gets
It's
away
about
from
timing.
plans.
It's about timing.
I'm very okay. It was more than if we get Bill O'Brien back, I'm happy as a pig in shit.
Yeah, you get Billy
Spread
O back?
offense with Mac Jones. Sign me the fuck up.
Oh man, it's gonna be fun. I'm looking forward to it. I won't be surprised if Josh McDaniels goes in there, and everybody's talking about how he. One of the reasons why he went to Vegas, it was because he wanted Derek Carr, and I'm like, no, he wanted you wanted stability at the quarterback position. I'm like, bullshit. You know why he went there? Because he knows he can trade Derek Carr and he can get something for him. And you know where Derek Carr would look great?
Indy.
Indy.
Yeah, that's what we keep saying.
Yeah.
You throw Derek Carr in Indy, dude, that's an AFC divisional round, AFC championship caliber team all day.
Like when you get
Derek Carr does not go down to Jacksonville and lose in Week 18 the way
Listen.
the Colts did.
No, probably
listen,
not.
when you got Wentz last year, I laughed like right in your face on air with you. I'm like, your team's fucked.
Yeah, no.
I was the only one that had any optimism.
Nope.
And it looked like I was doing okay for a while there.
Yeah.
I said on air when you called me out, you're like, you were wrong. I'm like, fool's gold. I'm like, it's always fool's gold with Carson Wentz.
I mean, we had a fucking 1,800-yard rusher. Of course we did fucking all right. You know what I mean?
but
the
he's
game-
like talking like a guy with special needs that doesn't know he's special needs. He's
But
like,
it was just fucking wild though watching Carson Wentz because you watched him play and you looked at his numbers on paper and you're like, how the fuck is this team not better?
Yep.
And then you watch the games and you're like,
Yeah, he might have thrown for 300 yards and three touchdowns, but he also threw a left-handed 5-yard interception.
he was
pick
basically
six.
Kyle Ortoning it up.
Right.
yes,
Which
great analogy.
guess what, Vegas? Get ready for. I don't know who Kyle Orton is now, but whoever he is, you're
Kirk.
getting him. Kirk Cousins.
Dude, they're gutting Minnesota.
Minnesota's gone.
They're gutting New Orleans. They're gutting Tampa. They're going to gut Oakland. I'm sorry, Vegas.
Well, what do they have to gut in Vegas though? There's
that's
really nothing to
That's
gut.
McDaniel's way. He's like, I don't like this guy.
Oh well, yeah.
Josh Jacobs put that tweet of that face. He's like,
Yeah, Josh Jacobs is probably gone. That'll be the first. So there it is. So it'll be Derek Carr and Josh Jacobs
Some boozing 150 miles an hour
He'll
already
keep
took care of
Waller
most of
around
their
because
team.
Waller shut his mouth. But it was like when Cutler and Brandon Marshall were like, Josh McDaniel, what the fuck?
Joey sent me the Raiders like Reddit forum, and the third comment in was like someone's like, so is Ruggs gone forever?
Yeah.
Like is when he went to jail, is it like permanently or can he come back this season? And I'm like, what?
This is the level. That's why I said go. I'm telling you, dude, go on the Raiders Reddit sub.
Yeah.
It is fucking gold.
They
he
hired
gone
they hired
forever?
they hired Josh McDaniels, and this man's first thought was, can he help get Henry Ruggs out of prison? That was his first thought.
He's like, wait, so what could Henry Ruggs do in Josh McDaniel's offense?
He thinks he's an
Well,
attorney.
From prison, not much.
He's like, he's Johnny Cochran. They're gonna get this man free.
It's unbelievable, dude. It's such a fucking wild
Unbelievable
league that we
thing,
live
yeah.
in, and it's beautiful, and I love it. That being said, gentlemen, let's wrap it up. Let's take it out of here. We will see you all next Tuesday night.
Yeah.
8:30 p.m., same place, same time. Right here live on the one, the only, the New Bedford Guide. Make sure you go over to Row 1 Seat 1's Facebook page. Give us a like and a follow. If you liked what you saw here tonight, please give us a like and a share. We love, we need it. I mean, look, it's how we survive. We're going to try to get on Twitch and YouTube next week. We'll see what happens with that. I know we've been saying that for a while now, but I actually mean it this time.
Let's do it.
But until then, I am Joey Fats for Plizzy and Mr. Sean Beckott. This has been Row 1 Seat 1. We'll check you later.
Mac
Peace.
Jones, the Pro Bowl.
Peace.